All righty, good afternoon, everybody. The day is here where we're finally seeing the snow, and we're starting to get reports of that in many parts of central Georgia. We're getting flurries, mainly that's what we're hearing about here. And the thought is that we're going to continue with the flurries and hopefully trend on over. I say hopefully, I think most people want this, into a steadier snow as we go through the afternoon and into tonight. Most of it has been coming in from, obviously, the west. We knew that was going to start there. And we are seeing a mix in a little bit in parts of southwest Georgia, but mainly snow here. Let's take a look and see what's up with the Skycam. You can kind of see a few flurries at times. This is a Macon Skycam, sometimes a little steadier than others. And then we're just going to go back to flurries for a little bit. Let me get on over to let me show you the temperature map just for a second, then we'll get to the radar. And there's a look at that. So the numbers actually have started to come down. We're looking at freezing now in the Macon area after we're at 34 just a little bit ago. So the idea is if we get enough of this precip falling, it's going to drag the temperature down more. And once we get there, we're probably just going to stay below freezing the rest of the day. So we knew there'd be a changeover, even though we really haven't seen anything other than flurries as we've been going through today. So all that to say that the temperature profile is there for snow. So that looks good. Here is a look at the radar as it pops up. Well, let me change over to the one that is not that. Let's take away the satellite. Let's do this. I thought I had this one already set up. We're going to go with precip type. There we go, right there. And again, what we're looking for is the kind of bluish, purplish shaded areas. Obviously, the lighter the color, the lighter the snow would be. Looks like there's a pretty decent little band anywhere from Macon County through Perry on up into kind of between Irwinton and Wrightsville and south of Sandersville. So let's do, and we'll be doing a lot of this today where we kind of jump around looking at sky cams and then pictures from you, videos, stuff like that. And eventually we'll start asking for, if we can get enough on the ground, kind of give us an accumulation total at your house, what you're seeing. If you have a ruler, a little yardstick you can use on standby. Let's see if I can find the Perry Skycam. All right, we're going to take this one live. All right, so there's the radar. Let's go to the Skycam and boom. So yeah, seeing pretty good snow coming down at the fairgrounds in Perry, and it shouldn't be long. Definitely as we get on into more of the afternoon, we should start to see it at least piling up on, decks and railings and on the hoods of cars and stuff like that. Right now, this is just the beginning. So this is just the leading edge of all this. Starting to stick in Thomaston, says Stacy. All right, good to know. Pictures will be nice too, if you can fire some of those in there. Got some pretty steady snow in Beaver Oaks over by Lake Tobesofkee, flurries in Perry, snowing Wrightsville, Warner Robins, Lawrence County, Dudley. Thank you, Alex. We have Alex and Ansley in here. We have a full crew of just snow bunnies waiting for something to... Isn't that what you call that? Okay, I'm getting laughs over here from the weather team. Maybe I said something wrong. Okay, we'll figure that one out later. Write that down. Y'all can tell me what I did later. All right, so we're seeing Crisp County, Warner Robins, Gray, Jones County. Let's see, we're getting reports from Washington County, Lawrence, Americus. Reports of it sticking in the Columbus area back west when all of this was coming through. So there's the big picture on that. Let's get back over to the radar. And again, the colors that we're looking for on this are going to be kind of the bluish purple colors. You want the darker colors, which would indicate maybe where a heavier snow is going on. If you're in Dublin, Eastman, places like that, hold on. It's coming to you, and you're in one of those areas where we're probably going to see some bigger totals because it'll still be going there later tonight as it starts to clear from the west. Let me see if I can get us out to a bigger picture. And that's not cloud cover, that's all snow right there. So you can see a whole ton of it going on. I don't know if you've seen pictures and videos from like Gulfport, Mississippi, places like that. I mean, a lot of it on the ground. So just follow what's out there and just kind of trace it on up toward the north and east here, and this conveyor belt should continue as we go on through the rest of this afternoon into tonight. But look how far south all this goes. I mean, it's all down here along the Gulf Coast. Let's see. Looking at some of the comments, flurries in Dublin. Yeah, Dublin just beginning there, so you'll start to see more of that for sure as we go through the next few hours. Snowing in Byron, seeing a few comments there. Sandersville checking in. You go to Mount Warner Robins, anything sticking?
I think that's where the heaviest snow is coming down. That line that you can see.
That's that one band.
Yeah, that's what they're saying in the National Weather Service.
Okay, so that's Alex and Ansley saying that main band that is that thin line I was showing you that we could kind of see on the Perry Skycam a minute ago is what's putting down the heaviest now. So that might be where we start to see some of the accumulation is in that sort of dark blue band right along through here. So just kind of figure out where that is in relation to where you're standing, and you may be seeing more snow. All this other is going to be light flurries, but again, it can kind of fluctuate as we go through time. You'll have maybe some steady and then goes back to light. So if you're thinking, oh, it's only a few flurries, you know, that can change in a few minutes. You can get a batch to come through a little bit heavier. Got a little snow in Macon, Georgia, sticking to rooftops and ground. North Monroe County, let's see, starting in Eastman, says Jessica. Not sticking in Warner Robins, says Cheryl. Sticking in Milledgeville, says Mike. Amanda, it's really coming down in Marshallville, sticking here. And some flurries in Kathleen. So a lot of folks checking in. So we got that going for us, at least something actually falling instead of just a wintry mix or nothing out there. So far so good. There's actually snow happening. And again, going back to that big picture. In this case, I know the color table is probably confusing because we were looking for blue and purple, but on this radar, this is going to be showing up in white. So the brighter the white color is going to be the heavier the snow in this. And you can see that band right there too. So that's kind of our main spot right now, running from kind of Montezuma, Perry, and in between Irwinton and Dublin and kind of underneath Sandersville. Not saying they're not flurries there, but this looks to be where our heaviest snow is for right now. And again, you get down in our southeast corner, nothing going on yet, but all this is coming, so just be patient. It's just going to take a little time to get there. And again, you can see how far back this goes. So it's just a snow factory, just making it over and over again, and it continues to just keep coming in. So that's a good chunk of hours we'll have for the potential to get some of this on the ground. Sticking to the ground in Perry, Allison says. Somebody wants to see future view. Ansley, yes?
The Skycam for Biloxi, Mississippi. It's snowing at the beach over there.
Crazy. All right, Ansley's going to pull up the Skycam for Biloxi, Mississippi. Apparently snowing at the beach there. Is it already up? Is it? Okay, let me take that. Wow. When's the last time anybody saw that? That's nuts. I mean, that's crazy that that's Biloxi.
The sand there is not too white, but now it is. Normally it's that Gulf sediment. It's all muddy
Yeah.
there. So they actually have white sand.
Yeah, for once they have white sand beaches there. That's right, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so that again is not Central Georgia. That's Biloxi. Just looking at the temps again, just seeing what our profile is like out there. Surface temperatures are going down. So we're seeing freezing in many spots, down to 32 in Macon, 34 Warner Robins. And if you start getting enough of this going on, it'll start dragging the temperatures down. So once we get to freezing, we're pretty much going to stay there. All right, somebody asked about a future view. Let's see the graph from here on out. And it continues to show this just over and over. 6, 7, 8. Now, if you go by the graph, Macon, Warner Robins area is almost done by 7, 8 o'clock. And then southeast counties continue till about midnight. And then it's done. That's if that's right. Let's take a look at the NAM. Man, the NAM just keeps going with it. 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight, 2, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6, done by 6 a.m. if that's right. Let's take a look at the latest high res. Snow, snow, snow. 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Getting to flurries by 10, 11 midnight. Shutting off in the Macon area a little after midnight. Southeast county's done by 5 a.m. if that one's right. Yep, everything's still on board. Okay, back to the radar. Everybody checking in. Juliet, Gordon, Haddock, East Macon. Sticking on ground, Jones, close to Monroe County line. Very heavy in Fort Valley. Tia, can you put a picture up? Marilyn says, which radar is more reliable? It's all the same radar. It's just a different color table for how it represents snow. On this, it's showing up as bluish purple. If I go over to a SatRad here, this is just going to show it in white. It's the same refill activity, so it's going to be the same data. It just looks different. So again, that's that main band right through there for now. I mean, there's at least flurries everywhere, except our southeastern counties, but this is the main stretch for right now. So we're going to take a look at Perry on the Skycam, and yeah, you can see it coming down. Don't know if it's sticking to anything yet. I want to imagine that it is in those tree limbs, but I can't tell if that's what that is. Why don't we move the camera? We can zoom in. All right, let's go to a limb. Yeah, it's coming down pretty good in Perry, that's for sure. McRae, Georgia, when? Pete, that's going to be in the next couple of hours getting to you, and then you'll have it all through the night tonight. Is it going to stick in Houston County? Alyssa, yeah, I think any of these places that it's snowing, it's going to stick. It's just a question of how much can we get out of the clouds. Outside here at the station, it's coming down good? Okay, cool. Yeah, Perry's definitely coming down. Out here in Macon now coming down. Starting to stick over at the base, they're saying. How many inches, Cassandra? Not really sure. We're thinking kind of an average of 1 to 2. But there could be some areas with more. Sticking in Wilkinson County, Monroe County, Perry, all reporting that snow is sticking. So we are underway, folks. Just moving some cameras around here. Can you show how much snow we're expected to get? I could show you a map of some of that stuff, but it doesn't mean that it's exact. I'd rather just go with 1 inch to 2 inches some places could get as much as 3 or 4 inches if the models are right. And so far, everything's coming together. The snow is beginning, but we'll just have to wait and see. I would say 1 inch to 2 inches as an average, but there will be pockets that could see more than that. Looks like it's sticking on the benches down there at the fairgrounds. Let's see if I can get you a shot of that. Yes, one snowy bench. So there's visible proof that it is sticking in Perry. So we're just getting started, folks. There are many hours of this to go. So it's just a question of how much is going to pile up. Sticking in Lizella, sticking in Fort Valley. Saying it's coming down pretty good and sticking in Ivy. Snowing here, Wesleyan Hills at Bowman now. Snowing in Gray. Well, we went and finally got ourselves a snow day. That's good. All right, let's go back to the Macon Skycam. It's coming down pretty good in Macon as well.
Just to the west of us in Columbus,
Mm-hmm.
Skycam, you can start to see some accumulation. I can push it out a little.
All right, so this is Columbus. Skycam in Columbus. Ainsley's going to pop up for us.
So kind of an idea of what we might see soon.
Oh, wow, yeah. Ainsley says kind of an idea of what we might see soon. That could be a pretty good thing. So that's Columbus area. There's a really good chance this is the way all of our areas are going to look, at least like this, in the coming hours. All right, so that's the Columbus area. Sometimes you can get usually a good idea on the copper dome on top of the city auditorium. It's a good place to start seeing things pile up. Right now we don't see it yet. See, Casey says sent pics and video, Facebook Messenger, Crawford County, 7 miles north of Fort Valley. So we're getting a lot of folks saying, I guess I can't send pictures in the comment feed.
Maybe not. If they send them to the Weather Network, I can.
Ooh. Hey, yeah, how many of y'all are in our Weather Network on our Facebook page? Start slinging them in there if you can. Ainsley's going to grab them out of there. Because I don't think they can. I thought you could do that in comments, maybe not in this format. What's the story out there, Alex Pry?
Sticking to my hair, I think.
Sticking to his hair, I think, he says. All right. Some real highlights. Okay, so let's go back to the radar. Again, with the numbers are good. This is where we want it. And as we go through the day, we only have a few 33s, 34s on there. And the idea is that as the cold precip comes down, dragging the atmosphere down with it, you start to really chill the surface out even more, the surface temp. So it really kind of pulls the atmosphere more into a freezing environment. So we should see the numbers continue to go down as we go through the coming hours. So some places are close to freezing, some are on it or a good bit below. But once we get, I mean, here we are coming up on 2:30. Well, you know, we've only got another 3 hours of daylight. And once this starts, if it's coming down heavy enough, we're probably going to drag it all down into freezing in the next hour or so, I'd imagine. And then just keep dropping as we go on through tonight. All right, back to the radar. You can choose which one you like the most. We can go with this look, which is the blue and purple. Or then we have the one where it shows up in white. And this is the big picture. Just to show you, there is a ton of snow out there that goes all the way back down into New Orleans, where it's been going on overnight into this morning down there. Again, the heaviest band for right now is right in here. So as we showed you on the Perry Skycam, and this is kind of on the Twiggs, Bleckley line, sort of Wilkinson, Lawrence, Washington, Johnson County line. This for right now, this is kind of the main corridor. But I mean, clearly there's snow coming down everywhere. And again, if you're in our southeastern counties and you're like, wait a minute, you said the farther south you live. Well, it's just not there yet. Because if you look down here, you can see all this is heading your way. Good bit of it. A lot of bright white in there. So that's going to be even heavier snow, especially like you can see in this band right here. So as we go through all of this afternoon, as I was saying, on our Weather Network Facebook page, if you're not a member on there, we may have quite a few joining today that may not be on there. That's where you can submit all of your photos, videos, and all that stuff. Then we can start getting all that ready for the newscast coming up and to pop back out here on social media and all that. So really, once it gets into this sort of situation, it's more eyes on the ground now as far as like, what does it look like? What kind of accumulation are we looking at? Because we're not able to pick that up with a radar. So now once it's on the ground, it's kind of really like if you've got a ruler and you can stick it down into it and kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at there. I mean, obviously not, at this point, you're not going to get any sort of readings because we're just getting started. But as we go through the coming hours and things start to pile up more and more, it's important that that stuff comes back to us, and then we can kind of, you know, talk to the National Weather Service in Peachtree City about what our viewers are seeing as well. So appreciate that. All right. Wrightsville, Bonaire, Crawford County. What is the page again, Crystal says? Isn't it called the 13 WMAZ Weather Network? Sticking in North Macon, snowing in Fort Valley. Wrightsville, yep, Butler. Yeah.
Some photos of people having enough accumulation to make snowballs, things like that.
Okay, that's cool. We're getting some pictures in Perry where, like, on the padding that goes around a trampoline, these kids were able to ball up some snowballs, and we're seeing it on cars. A little bit, is that on the ground or is that gravel?
That's on the ground, I think. Looks like it. On the truck.
And that's Reynolds?
Yeah, this is in Reynolds.
That's Reynolds. Okay, so we're seeing.
Along the line of that band.
Yeah. Yeah, 13 WMAZ Weather Network. And we have a lot of members in there, and we'd love to see what you're seeing too. All right, let's go back to.
I'll say too, Ben, any areas of standing water, people are submitting photos of that being totally frozen over.
Okay, that's a good point. Any areas of standing water, we're seeing videos and pictures of it being frozen over, and that's only going to get worse because the temperatures drop in, and we're going into possibly the upper teens tonight. So anything that's on the ground is going to stick. And anything that's like an area of water or anything like that, or a slick spot on the road is only going to freeze more from here. All right, let's go back to the Perry Skycam. Yep. You can see it piling up on the benches down there. We're not getting a good look at it on the grass just yet, but I think that'll probably change as we go through the next couple hours. Still coming down out there, Alex?
Still snowing, can't confirm.
Alex keeps going outside about every 4.5 minutes and then comes back in and confirms that it's still snowing.
Can you tell I'm from here?
Yeah, oh yeah, can you tell I'm from here? That's right. Better than a sky cam. Oh, pry. There is snow in Byron. McRae, a question about McRae. Colleen, just be patient. It'll be there in the next probably hour or two, and then it'll be going all through tonight down there for you. It's just not there yet. It's on the grass in Fort Valley, says Tia. How much can we expect in Lower Bibb? Any part of central Georgia has the potential for like an inch or two of snow. There could be some totals that are higher or some less. That's about the easiest way to say it. Let's check in on the DUB and see if they have anything going yet. Yeah, see some flurries in Dublin. Yep, starting up there. Move the camera around so we can see that a little bit better. Congratulations, Dublin. You have snow. All right, let's go back to the temps again. And the numbers continue to drop, folks. There's some 34s that are now 33s, 32s, 30. And again, in the areas out front where it hasn't gotten yet, once it gets in, it's going to start dragging these numbers down too. 29 in Dublin already, 33, 32. Look at all these 28s. And it's during the day. So you can imagine how cold it's going to get once the sun goes down. So these are pretty good numbers for even at night in a snow event. And this is during the peak of the heat of the day, if you want to call it that. So a really good setup for snow as the numbers continue to drop. And as long as we can keep the precip coming, that's the thing. You can have cold air all you want, but if you got to have moisture content to make the snow, and so far, so good. Yeah, that Dublin sky cam will be interesting in a little bit because that heavy band right there is not far from moving in. It's the one we've been watching in Perry, so it'll be cool to see that Dublin sky cam probably in the next hour, within 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes maybe. Again, all this back here is mainly flurries, but again, there can be batches, there can be lulls in it. It looks like Columbus is in a little bit of a lull right now. Let's take the big picture here. Again, in this scenario, in this color table, white is snow. We're not looking at the bluish purple. So, and maybe this is a little bit better way of seeing it because people are used to the color of snow. So you can see a lighter shade back here in Columbus. So that may be like in a little bit coming through the Macon area, a little bit lighter. And then we'll just see if there are batches that get heavier and heavier. But so far, this is lining up to where we thought it was going to be some of the heavier totals would be mainly the southern half, which is very weird to say. Cordeal about to get a shot of snow down there. Kimberly says, I'm from Michigan and this is no big deal at all. All right, well, find us in mid-July and see if you think what we have is a big deal. We don't think that's a big deal either, so it's all relative to where you live. Sticking in Eatonton, sticking in Lizella, Crawford County. All right, so coming up in a little bit in that Dublin sky cam, as we mentioned, that'll be kind of neat to see. So once again, it's the 13 WMAZ Weather Network is the Facebook page, and we have a lot of members that have joined over that over the years, and we all just every day we get all kinds of cool pictures and videos and stuff like that in there. So if you have things and you start to see accumulation or kids, playing with, maybe making little snowballs, stuff like that, send that stuff on in. We'll put it on the news and we'll share it around so everybody can see it too. So let's go back to, we're going to go back to Max. That band is still the steadiest one right through there. So anywhere from Perry, almost in Cochrane. Cochrane, you're going to get a pretty good shot of snow here in a little bit. It's going to drop down. Dublin, getting a little bit closer. Let's see if, okay, it is starting to pick up in Dublin some.
And confirm almost all of our counties are reporting flurries.
Yeah, I know. I'm listing it all off over here, and all I'm doing is like I'm a human atlas.
Just pull the map together and have every single county.
Okay, well, they're confirming that every county in our area is seeing some kind of snow, either flurries or something steadier. Big fat snow in Milledgeville now. Thank you, Matthew. Really starting to come down now in Cordele. That's not a sentence you hear very often. Some in Macon starting to stick. Dudley getting hit now. Sleet in Hawkinsville. Snowing really good in Dublin, says Tamika. Yep. I expect that to pick up here in a minute.
Something like East Washington. I've seen some photos of that.
Brandon says Dublin's is like sleet. There could be a little bit of kind of a pellet feel to some of that, and as the temperature drags down more and more as we go through the afternoon, it'll start to, I would imagine, get a little bit fluffier feeling.
East Washington's gotten some pretty good accumulation. They had some flurries that lasted most of the morning too.
All right, so Price says East Washington has had some pretty good amounts, because they even saw flurries earlier this morning. All right, we'll check back in on that Dublin camera in a minute. Let's see. Yeah, that's a pretty good band right there. Really showing up, showing off right there. I mean, crossing I-16, so this is right through here is where we're seeing the majority of it. Joe Ellen, snowing hard in Wrightsville, Georgia right now. Snowing in Cadwell. These places you just don't ever... You don't really hear that, especially it's really coming down in Cordele. I can't remember the last time I heard that. Nate says, go to the fairground camera, Ben, blizzard. Okay, let's see if Nate's right on the blizzard. First we have the Dublin sky cam. Let me go to the other one. I don't know about blizzard, Nate, but that's pretty good snow coming down. It is sticking on the benches down there. Hard to tell on the rooftops because they're all white already. Accumulating in grass and dirt road in North Macon off Tucker Road near Foster Road, all right? Expected amounts in our area, Clint. I'm thinking 1 inch to 2 inches as kind of an average, and it can go either way on either side of that. You can see less than that, probably the farther north you are, which sounds weird. Maybe a little bit less than those numbers, and then the farther south you go, could be a little bit higher. Virginia, Ben, we need a sleeve update. We just did one. Here it is again. All sleeves. Okay. Yep, we're in it. Nate says, blizzard around here. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Brett, Zoom, bench, do it. You got it, Brett. I love a challenge. All right. He wants to see if we can zoom in on the bench. And I missed the bench. All right, we're going to go up. Still looks about the same way it did earlier, that bench, but I do see it sticking on the back of it. Pinky Vondracek, Cool name, cool comment. I can hear it tinkling on my metal furniture here in Dublin. Fat pieces. Best sentence I've said all day today.
Here's something you won't see every day.
What you got?
Beaumont, Texas to Lafayette, Louisiana, there was a blizzard warning this morning.
From Beaumont, Texas to Lafayette, Louisiana, there was a blizzard warning this morning. No, I don't remember the last time I ever heard that. I don't think I've ever heard that. All right, we're just peeling away from the bench. You did? All right, so Ansley pulled a photo. We're going to try to drag one in here. Which one? Oh. That's it? Okay, so so maybe this will be our little placeholder for any time you drop one in there. Okay, so, genius. All right, so this is Davisboro, Nia Johnson. Yeah, that's sticking right there. That's pretty good. So definitely having some accumulation out there. Love to see it. Pensacola Beach has snow. Chrissy and Adam Duncan, thank you. Chad, what about Cordial Skycam? Chad, I need you to go down and put us up a Cordial Skycam, and then I can take that. We need to have one there someday. Caitlin, sounds like you got the plan. Coming down good on Bass Road. What?
New Orleans, the Skycam, if you're interested.
Am I interested in New Orleans Skycam?
That looks like a blizzard.
All right, hit me. New Orleans Skycam, let's go. Oh my gosh. How is that New Orleans?
Right on Lake Pontchartrain.
Well, right on Lake Pontchartrain right there. That is unreal. The birds don't even know what to do. Folks, that is New Orleans. Unreal. I don't think I've ever seen that. Have y'all seen that?
Oh, that's crazy.
Are you sure that's New Orleans? Oh, man. Okay. We'll see how it goes here tonight, folks. But
That was so crazy.
yeah, they've got like a blizzard cane or something going on there. A hurricane. I don't know, but I could sit and stare at that all day. That's crazy. Okay, congrats, New Orleans. All right, let's go to the temperature map. Oh, that's the feels like, sorry. Oops, it's not 21. Let's see, there's the actual numbers that are out there. And we are dropping 30 in Macon, 33 in Gordon. Most places are freezing or below now, and the numbers continue to go down. As the snow comes in, it is dragging the atmosphere down into a colder thing. And as we go through tonight, the stage is set now. It's just how much moisture content can we get in the air? How much precip can we see? Now this is, if you're in these areas, Taylor, Crawford, Peach, Bibb, Northern Houston, you're probably going to get a little bit of a lull here for a little bit. This is a little bit of a kind of a break in the action, maybe a few flurries, but not as steady. But it doesn't mean that's the way it's going to stay. We still have hours of this to go. We're just getting started. But the steadier band down here, there is no let up going on right here.
I think so.
Is it? Okay.
Still snowing, trying to stick.
Yeah, so we saw that picture from Davisboro a little bit ago in Washington County, right up here, and there was accumulation on the car there, so that was pretty good there. I think in any of these dark shaded areas, we're going to see some pretty good numbers. That full blast has not quite gotten to Dublin yet, but take that line, and even though everything is moving in this direction, the line itself is slowly creeping eastward like this. So once this gets on Dublin, that Skycam is going to be pretty cool looking right there. Perry, probably going to slow down a little bit. That main band came through. Again, there's a lot more behind all this, but there will be kind of lulls in the action. So don't get bummed out if it looks like, oh, now we're just back to a couple of flurries. By the way, we showed you New Orleans a moment ago. Look at that. That is crazy. So that's New Orleans on the map. You can see all that heavy snow around the lake, and again, that's what it looks like on the ground there. That is something else. Okay.
Starting to stick around Fort Benning to our west.
Price that's starting to stick around Fort Benning off to our west. So everybody getting snow except for, again, those who are asking about McRae and all that, just give it time. All this is moving in, and within the next hour, our whole area will be getting snow. There are just some areas getting more than others. And again, in this corridor right through here, that's where the majority of it is for now. And there's still some pretty good snow coming down in these other spots, but I do think there's going to be a little bit of a lull for maybe an hour or so. We'll see if it picks back up. The models are kind of showing that we would have some lighter patches the farther north you go. So I'm not hoping for good accumulation in all these spots, but we'll have to wait and see how it all adds up as we go through tonight. Let's go to the graph. And there's 5 o'clock. Again, notice some of your darker colors are still down there. Perry to Dublin. 6 to 7. If the graph is right, by the time we get into around 8 o'clock or so, Macon probably is done, but that's just that model. Here's the NAM. Snow, 6, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10, midnight, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning. The latest high-res model. Notice how your darker colors are farther south and east. So we still expect our higher totals to be the farther south you go. You do? Is it already there? All right, Ansley with another photo. Let's see what this is. Oh, Davisboro.
No, it's go back to where you found the other one and pull it in.
As another one?
Yeah, I'll update that one.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Okay, we're going to drop that there. Mock Springs, Haley Goodrow. Just outside of Hawkinsville. Pulaski County having fun out there. What's up, little one? That's awesome. And it should continue to get better as we go on through tonight. More and more of it coming down. Stephanie, Wrightsville, are we expecting more than an inch? We're saying kind of an inch to 2 inches as an average in central Georgia. Lighter numbers probably farther north. Bigger numbers probably farther south. I think Wrightsville's in an area that could see an inch to 2. At least an inch, I think. Coming down and very pretty in North Macon, says Tara. All right, let's go to Macon Skycam, still showing some pretty good flurries. Don't see anything sticking on the ground or on the roads. let's go Perry. All right, that still looks about the same. Dublin. That main band hasn't gotten to Dublin just yet. And also what we're seeing is because at least the surface is not fully freezing. There's some wet roadways out there, but see, that's going to become a problem later. That's the thing. So whatever's falling now, if it's not fully sticking to the road and melting a little bit, as we start to drop more through the 20s here in a little while, those are going to turn into slick roads. You can see the rooftops starting to turn white there. The theater to your left. Lisa, what is your guess for businesses opening tomorrow? I really couldn't tell you. Well, you're asking for a guess, so I can give you a guess, yes. The guess would be that we're going to have some slick roads out there. Because once again, what we're seeing on some of these cameras and all that is that it's coming down as snow and sticking in some places, but kind of making a wet road or in those areas. And then once that temperature starts to drop quickly, the roads that these cars are driving on, that could easily be ice.
Justin said to check your phone.
Justin said to check my phone. Is that it? Let's see. Okay. Our Justin Baxley, where our digital team said, and this is something cool for you guys, I put our sky cams up on the website's homepage. It's titled, Watch the Snowfall Around Central Georgia. It includes our area plus Atlanta Motor Speedway, Georgia Tech, Truist Park, and more. So go to our website and you can see all of those cameras. We're posting them up there if you just kind of wanted to get a live look at how this is playing out. Both photos are updated, says Ansley. Let's go to those. Whoop. All right, let me update that. This is going to be Roberta. Diane Herb. Hey, another little one there. Yeah, that's fun. Well, it brings back memories, doesn't it? That's cool. So there's Crawford County showing up with accumulation there. And then this next one is going to be Thomaston. Chrissy Walker. That's pretty good. Got the sleds out already? Looks like using his little brother as a sled. Is that what that is? It'll keep piling up there, so just give it time. We still have lots of hours of this to go. And again, there could be times where it's just flurries for a little bit and then picks back up. So it may not always be super steady, but let's see. Okay. Back to the numbers. And they're steadily dropping. Just a moment ago I checked, and there were 33s on the board. Now 30, 31, 20s. The warmest stuff you see is Rochelle, McRae. Those are the only places left above freezing, and that's going to change here in a little bit as that snow is coming in. Again, it's going to drag the temperature down with it. Neil says, Ben, ask Ansley, how do I get on the Weather Network?
You search it up on Facebook?
Go search on your Facebook search bar thing and type in 13 WMAZ Weather Network. And then you say, what, join? And Ansley will approve your joining. All right, let's get back to the radar here, and you can see that that steady band is still going on from anywhere from Dooley through Pulaski, Bleckley County, Lawrence County, on into Johnson, southern Washington County. Still waiting for that main line to get more into Dublin here. When that bright white starts to show up more on Dublin, that's when the Skycam is going to get looking better and better there. Again, let me change over to this other source. Instead of looking for white, we're looking kind of bluish purple here. And you will see some little lulls in there. So again, don't get discouraged if you're like, that was it. So Macon, Roberta, Butler, Thomason, it may kind of slow up for a little bit. There's just lulls in between these bands, but then there's more coming back from the west here.
That's it.
Frank over here, that's it. Glad to have you, Frank. You suiting up, ready for a snow day? Oh,
I'm told.
that's right. All right. Maybe we can get Frank doing a snow angel in his suit out in the garden. That'd be good.
Snow dance.
Yeah, a little snow dance. We're down for that. So yes, we're probably going to see comments in a little bit that, you know, it is slacking off here a little bit. This is just going to be a little lull. But this is the main area that has been and was always going to be the area we thought we were going to see the most. Let's go to, oh, Ainsley, can you pop that New Orleans back up again? Did you see New Orleans, Frank?
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, Roy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you, sir. Wow, this has changed.
Yeah, well, that's not Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans coming up.
The old New Orleans, the old
Yeah, that's
Orleans
the
theater.
that's
Oh my God!
well, it's frozen right now for some reason, but it's been bending the
I've heard
trees.
there are, like blizzards out there.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's New Orleans.
Oh my gosh! Imagine if this was Super Bowl week.
Yeah, that would not be good if it was Super Bowl week at all. I guess the camera's frozen.
It's playing on my end.
Oh, it is? Huh. Well, for whatever reason, it's not playing on this.
See it better.
I'm not sure why it's not playing there. All right, let's go back to the Dublin camera. Yeah, you can see it sticking on the rooftops in Dublin now and on the ground, starting to see it on the ground in Dublin as that steadier band is moving in.
Then the Lexi Sky Kim's looking to be grand.
Yeah, Biloxi too.
The Biloxi Skycam is looking crazy. Let's go back to Biloxi. Oh, that's white out. Can't even see the bridge.
Look at that. Look at it coming down so hard.
That is unreal. So hit New Orleans one more time. Why is it not playing on my... There's New Orleans, okay. Yeah, the blizzard came. That is crazy. Okay. I mean, it's just sick. Okay, so the numbers here continue to fall, seeing more 30, 31s, 20s showing up on the board, and it only goes colder from here as we're going down to probably the upper teens. Is that what the forecast was today? Did y'all have upper teens for this morning, tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I had 18.
18? Okay. So we're no doubt that whatever's on the ground is going to stay there, and probably for a couple of days or more. So we just keep piling it up. There is a look at the radar again with some lulls in there, so you may just see a few flurries in some of this for right now, but there's more to come after this. So our main attention right now will be focused here in our southeast counties. As we said with the Dublin Skycam, with that band running through there now, it's starting to stick on the ground. Really, what's crazy, I mean, Dooley and Crisp really overachieving down here. I mean, Unadilla to down through Cordele, I mean, that's some pretty good snow coming down. And I imagine we'll hear from some folks in Hawkinsville, Rochelle, Eastman in a little bit with some big numbers, I'm hoping. Let's see. Krista, how's the overnight looking? It looks like we're going to continue with this at least through like 8 o'clock for like the Macon area, and then it may start to clear. Some models show it going later in the Macon area, but then our southeastern counties, so all down here till possibly midnight or later, some models show it going into the early morning hours. So we have many hours left to go. You can see again in this map, all of the white back there, that's all snow coming in, wave after wave. Okay, so they're saying 3 p.m. is the plan. We're going on air. Hold on, guys. We're doing a little inside baseball here, trying to figure out our coming up on air in a few minutes. Yeah, well, was it near me? Oh, what's up? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, somebody asking, how do I submit pics? We know that the 13 WMAZ Weather Network, we've had so many different ways of doing this over the years. What is the latest one? What is the... We're finding that out, guys. Hold on.
Ben's still on the stream. Ansley's getting mic'd up and ISC'd up.
Guys, you're not going to hear me for just a second here. I got to put an earpiece in. I'm not gone. I'm just turning the mic off for just a second. Okay, guys, back with you now. We'll be going on air in a little over a minute. So we just had to put a little earpiece thing in here, change some batteries in the microphone, because obviously we're going to have a long day here. And as we go on through tonight, more and more of this. So you can see it stretches all the way back down. Again, there are going to be lulls as we go through the afternoon and into tonight. Macon area probably getting into one of those now where it's a little bit lighter. But there could be waves that'll pick up more, off and on. So again, don't get discouraged. It was like, oh, it was just a little dusting and that was it. We still have plenty of time to go to put more of this on the ground. So we shall see. All right, let's go back to that. We're going to check in on the Skycam. Well, that's still New Orleans. They're still having quite the fun day. Let's go to Dublin, which does not quite look like New Orleans, but the roofs are white now. And the ground is starting to turn white.
Yes.
Yep. So it is definitely sticking in Dublin and piling up on the theater rooftop there. So as we go through time, just more and more of this. And once it gets a good frozen base on the ground, then it's just more and more that can stick to it. So we're just laying the foundation for it now. Brenda, how long will it snow? For at least on into 8, 9 o'clock for the Macon area, perhaps, maybe longer. And then the farther southeast you go, midnight or even overnight into early morning hours of tomorrow. We're not exactly sure how long it's going to last, but I would say at least another 5 hours, but probably more in some spots. What is this one here? Okay, we are ready to go on air. That will work, yes. All right, guys, if you're on Facebook and on the Plus app and YouTube and all that, you've been joining us, and so now we're going to welcome in everyone on television.
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a winter wonderland, also known as Central Georgia.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, it is snowing outside. A sigh of relief by the meteorological team. Oh, but boy, it is snowing. Some parts harder than others in Central Georgia, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing accumulation going on in a few areas, and you're right, it's good to see, because a little over a week ago, we were trying to put a dub in the column and got the L there, but you know, when you work hard on these forecasts, then you want something to stick somewhere, and that's what we're seeing. Check this out. This is the Dublin Skycam going on right now. This is one of the steadier bands of snow that's coming in, and really it's one of those upside down situations we've been talking about, where the farther south you go, some of the bigger totals are forecast there. And you can see the rooftops white, the ground's starting to turn white as well. How about the numbers across Central Georgia? They're in a good spot if you want snow. We're looking at freezing and below, and the numbers continue to drop. So we're looking at low 30s, upper 20s, still seeing above freezing in Rochelle and McRae. McRae at 37 down there underneath our banner, but that will change as we go through the next few hours as snow comes in and really starts to drag the atmosphere down colder and colder. And now, once we get into sunset in the next few hours, we'll just go colder and colder. We're looking at upper teens overnight. So if you go back to that Skycam shot and look at the roads, initially, we're not seeing anything stick to the roads as far as snow is concerned, but it is kind of melting on contact there. The problem with that is once we get on into these colder hours, that is wet on the road is going to freeze very solidly, because we're again looking at upper teens for overnight lows tonight. And then tomorrow, only getting somewhere in the 30s for a little while, maybe mid 30s, and that could be enough to thaw some things out, maybe a little bit of melt, not much, because we wouldn't be very warm for very long, and then refreeze tomorrow night. So we may have stuff on the ground for a while. Okay, wanted to show you this little lull in the middle. So for the core of Central Georgia right now, if your kids are coming in going, that was it, just a few flurries now. That's not all that there is. This is just a little donut right here. This is a break in the action for a little bit, but there's more to come. As we go back over into Alabama, you can see back here more of it still moving up. So a whole lot of snow still to go. And if you don't like the bluish colors, purple colors, whatever that is, I can show you this. That's not cloud cover, that is snow. And it is all white going all the way back down. And I mean, it is coming down in New Orleans. We were looking at the Skycam there a minute ago, and it was just unbelievable, with the trees bent over like a hurricane, and you can barely even see anything out there. The biggest areas for us are going to be in the bright white areas, and so this is so weird to say, Dooley and Crisp County. Cordele are getting the majority of the snow right now. I don't recall when I've ever said that. And it goes all the way up through Hawkinsville in just a minute, starting to get heavier. Cochran about to get a pretty good shot of it. Eastman, Cadwell, Dublin, Dudley, Dexter, all those areas with a big band of snow about to come on in. So that's going to just pop on more on the ground and on the rooftops there. And as we said, I want to show you a couple of these pictures that have been coming in. There are a few ways you can send stuff to us. One of them is our 13 WMAZ Weather Network page on Facebook. Just search those words and join, and then we will, they might hit a little approval button, and then there you go. So that says the story right there. Tastes good. Yes, it does. That's a good one in Roberta. Let's see. Let's go to the next picture. We've seen some accumulation in different spots. Dublin from Carrie Graham, and this is again just getting started. I mean, Dublin has only had snow for a matter of minutes and already starting to see it pile up on the ground. If you would like to send us stuff, and mainly what we're looking for, other than cute pictures with kids playing and having fun, is we need an idea of the measurement of this. Obviously, you're not going to get a good measurement right now, but as we go on into the later hours tonight and things are piling up, you find a flat surface, like a deck, a railing, something like that, a ruler or a yardstick, and just stick it down in there and show the picture of it to see where it goes up to on there. And that's how we're going to get our measurements. And then we can start plotting these on a map because the radar is not going to be able to figure that out. It will see that there is precip out there, but as far as a wet, denser snow is not going to be as tall than a fluffy, so all these different areas are going to be really eyes on the ground showing us all this, and we can plot that out, so we would appreciate that. All right, so let's go back to the main radar. And again, anything in white is snow. We're not showing clouds today. I know it looks like cloud cover, but that's not what that is. But just to give you an idea, if you are in one of those lull areas right now, anything that is back here continues in this same direction as we go on through tonight, and then down here. So just look back toward the south and west, and that's what's all still coming this way as we go on through tonight. And you can see why, obviously, the farther south you go, we still got to get all that's down and along the Gulf coming up this way too. A very weird scenario to see all this. Panhandle of Florida, all these areas, Mobile Bay just covered up. We saw Biloxi a minute ago. You could barely even see the bridge out there on that. Let's take away these arrows here. And to see it more clearly, we go over to this radar shot. Again, the color table is different. Instead of white, it's going to show up as kind of a blue. But you can see a pretty good lull going on right now. So again, but if you look off toward the west, and you can see, let's see, I'll jump on over to the Alabama radar. You can see all that coming in toward Columbus, coming up from Montgomery. That's all going to be sliding this way as we go through the next handful of hours too. So if there is a little bit of a lull now, just give it another hour or so and it'll start to pick back up. That is not a lull, obviously, as you get down here in our southeastern counties. So Dublin, we showed you that sky cam a moment ago. Eastman, about to get a pretty good shot of snow there. Through Hawkinsville, Abbeville right now, all those dark shaded areas, that's a pretty steady snow. Let's go back to the Dublin sky cam, and you can see things piling up on the ground down there. Definitely the roofs are pretty much totally covered now, the rooftops. And then as we go to the fairgrounds in Perry, and not doing a whole lot of sticking right there on some of the benches, but once we get on in with the numbers down a little bit more on the surface, then we'll start to see that stick a little better. And again, this is where that heavier band came through a moment ago and has kind of gone back a little bit lighter. How about the Macon sky cam? This should be kind of a lull. You're still seeing some stuff flying around out there, and then farther out you go, the station's way back there in the back. We're back there hidden and all that, but that's just flurries, and you can see how it gives it sort of a haze way off in the distance there. So yes, it's coming down. So far we don't have anything really all that measurable, but again, there are many hours to go and on into tonight. Let me show you some of the model data on that. Again, different models are always going to show different things. This is the graph model that you normally see, and it picked up on it pretty right, that it came in as snow and has stuck as snow. Notice as we go on through, there's 4 o'clock, 5, 6. It kind of wants to break it apart in the Macon area around 8 o'clock tonight. And if this is right, then it's done in Macon by about 8. Warner Robins, same thing. Southeast County still going 10, 11 o'clock on into midnight, and then that's done. Now that's just one model take. All right, so here's the NAM, and this one shows, let me get it caught up, it's starting at 8 a.m. Let me get it on up to where we are now. All right, so if we start from now, there's 5, 6, 7. Now remember the graph wanted to shut it off around 8 o'clock. It's still going on this model. It's starting to get a little lighter. There's 9, 10 o'clock tonight, 11 o'clock midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and then leaving Macon around 5 in the morning and leaving our whole area by about 7 in the morning. That's if that model is right. So we've had a lot of questions about how long is this going to go. We're not exactly sure, but we know that it's going to go for a handful of hours, that's for sure. But beyond 8 o'clock or so tonight, it might keep going or it might start to kind of break apart. This is the high-res model. Notice your darker colors farther south were the bigger totals, where we were thinking we were going to see some of the higher totals. This is 5, 6 o'clock going forward into 7, 8, still going 10, 11 o'clock midnight, then leaving Macon 2, leaving our area 5 in the morning. So the only one really that gives up on it early is the graph model. And temperature-wise, obviously the numbers are good already, but they get better for wanting snow. Notice as we get on in, and of course the graph is running a little bit warm, but pretty close to where we are now. So notice as we get in to the later hours, drop, 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 and we're going to say around 18, somewhere like that, maybe for a low in the morning. So what is on the ground is not going anywhere, as we go through the overnight tonight. Tomorrow we'll start to warm up some here, and notice how we get into maybe, if I remember right, the graph was calling for like 37 today and we only did 34. So you could subtract a few numbers and say maybe we're at 34 again tomorrow. That's a short day, not a whole lot of numbers above freezing, and not for very long. So we may get a little bit of melt, and then we go right back down again tomorrow, possibly into the low 20s, upper teens there, and so all that refreezes again. So sometimes you have a secondary mess where you get slush on the roads, and then it refreezes the next night. So I would imagine, even as we go forward, I mean, this is Thursday afternoon, still only in the 30s, and back down below freezing again. And Friday morning, we could probably have this on the ground for 2 to 3 days, maybe not as much as what we will see tonight, obviously, losing a little bit each day. But tonight into tomorrow morning would be the main problem. Definitely tomorrow morning if you had plans to go somewhere and get on the road. Because as we saw on the sky cam down there, again, wet roadways that are out there now. So roads where it is not sticking, the snow is not settling down on it. And you can see the little shine down there on 1st Street. That stuff should just turn on over to ice. So that would be a problem if you don't have to go anywhere. I mean, it may not look like a blizzard as we go through tonight, but even if you don't have that kind of look on the ground, it will at least have some slick roadways out there, I think. All right, let's get back to the radar and see about that lull that was in there. All right, and just to show you again, there's a little bit of a lull with just flurries in the middle right here, but this will probably start to fill back in, even if just lightly in a little bit. The main area is all down here in the dark shaded areas. So again, coming in to Eastman in just a second, and then more toward Dublin. Francis Malloy, it is good to see you, my friend. You have popped in over here, overdressed for the occasion, I might add.
I think so. Yes.
Well, get your sleeves up, man.
Oh no, I'm not gonna. No, sir, that can come back to bite you. No, don't forget you can download our app, Google Play. Ben, you forgot to read your favorite thing. Apple Store,
sorry.
Sign up for the notifications. That way you would have already known what was going to be coming your way, and that is snow, and we'll send those notifications to you. All right, some videos are coming in too, Ben. You showed us some pictures. Harold Powers, flurries. The folks in Wilkinson County, fired up Wilco. They're getting a little snow there earlier this morning. And the front yard looks different by now because this has been falling in Wilkinson County for a good while right there. A video from Erica Spann, downtown Macon, when the flurries first started falling. And of course they continue to fall, as Ben said, in a bit of a lull right now, but expected to pick back up. Again, one of those weird systems where the further south is where you're getting more. Dirt road in Washington County. Esther Richburg, 13 WMAZ Weather Network. Thank you, Esther. Appreciate that picture. Flurries in Centerville, Alana Cooper. Also the 13 WMAZ Weather Network. And we also have pictures in addition to video. Wesleyan and Sugar at the fountain in front of Watercress. That's in Providence. That's off Bass Road. That's an amazing picture of a frozen fountain. Not sure if the pup's too happy to be out, but is wearing the festive sweater. Ashley Smith sent us this photo. Flurries coming down in Butler this morning. Everybody excited? Everybody having a good time? Michaela Williams sent in this photo. Someone ready for fun in the snow with a very snappy snowsuit there. And this is from Adrian Barker. Things are sticking in Perry. One of the first, but definitely not the last, snowballs of the day. And the Nobles are out enjoying the first few flakes of snow. If you're heading out to enjoy the snow, remember, bundle up, hats, gloves, scarves, and of course, a nice warm coat. We want to see your photos of the snow. Share your winter weather moments with us, from snow in the trees, the kids and pets out frolicking. Of course, only take photos or record video when it's safe to do so. Text them 478-752. 1309. We can share them right here on 13 WMAZ.
All right.
All right, we have Justin with us right now, Trutland County EMA. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good, thank you, Justin. Appreciate you checking in. Folks in Soperton, what have you been seeing so far this afternoon?
Well, so far, probably 30 or so minutes ago, we've had a little bit of flurries start coming down. Nothing major at this time, but it is starting to snow, and you can just hear the excitement in the citizens.
I can imagine. We don't see a lot of it, Justin. Now, have you seen a lot of people out and about today? Or you think most people are pretty much adhering to the fact that they don't need to be on the roads and stuff as it gets colder and the snow starts coming?
Well, so far, it's still kind of normal around here as far as traffic goes. When snow starts getting a little bit heavier and getting a little thicker, I hope everybody will just remember to stay indoors and if they want to play, do it in their yards and not travel as much, because that's kind of what we're worried about is the road conditions and all through this.
So, Justin, how are you staffed, and what will your main focus be as we get later into the day and into the evening hours?
So, yeah, later in the evening, we're expecting to have a pretty good amount of snowfall, for around here. So we're not equipped to handle a lot of snowfall, but we do have our county and our city employees on standby with motor graders and front end loaders, things along the lines of that. We do have a dump truck full of sand if need be, and we're working closely with our local GDOT as well to help out where they can. So.
All right, Justin, again, as you said, just now starting to fall. Ben seems to think it's going to keep falling and maybe some heavier stuff over in that way. I guess your word for the folks in Treutlen County? Yeah,
if you don't have to travel, please don't. If for some reason you do need to travel, do so safely. Respect the snow and respect the ice if we get any of that. So.
Justin McNewer, Treutlen County EMA Director. Justin, thanks so much. We certainly appreciate you taking time to be with us this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, that's Justin McNewer, EMA, Treutlen County. Again, as it gets colder and it starts to freeze, if you want to keep watching snowfall around central Georgia, go to 13WMAZ.com. We have all our weather sky cams in one place, from Macon and Perry to Dublin and Atlanta. You can pick a sky cam and watch those flurries fall. All right, Ben, time to take it back to you. Say now, folks who are worried that it's over because this is not doing anything right now, need not worry, correct?
That's right. If you're thinking, I wanted more snow than this is not enough. This is just a little, we're happy that it's even happened at this point so far, but we have many hours still to go as we go on through tonight and possibly even on into the late night. So it's just going to come in waves like this for a while. This is still sort of in the beginning stages of all this. The sky cam over downtown again is going to show flurries even in the lull. The radar is not picking up a whole lot, but it's not stopping totally. It's still coming down. If we go on over to the Dublin Skycam, which has been one of the more interesting ones in the past 45 minutes or so, it's really starting to cover up on the ground now. You can see cars riding by on what are wet roadways for right now. But if the temperature is right, I think it was showing, let's see if I can find it. Where was the one with the Dublin Skycam numbers? That shows 28. Obviously, those roads are not going to be very good before long there in the Dublin area. So somebody tell that guy that just went by. So that, where you can see where it has melted on the roads, will start to freeze up pretty quickly. And you can see obviously in front of the marquee at the theater there, it's already on the bricks down there. So just more and more, and this is in one of the steadier snow bands that we have seen this afternoon, and it lines up. I'm going to show you two different radar shots. We have our one, which is kind of the local radar here at Jeffersonville, and this is going to show up in a blue shaded area. And this is going right along with what a lot of the models are showing. The farther south you go, where some of the bigger totals could start to pile up. So Eastman, again, love to see some pictures from there. Cochran, Hawkinsville, any of these places, as well as Dublin. Dublin's still about to get a lot more that's about to come in, piling up. And I know, I haven't looked over at the Facebook stream in a while, but I've been getting questions all day about, what about McRae? And I'm like, well, hold on, it'll get there. You just got to give it some time. It's definitely going to get there. It's just the way this is oriented. Everything in there is moving toward the northeast, but the whole band itself is just creeping slowly this way. So you just got to give it time. But you'll know it once it gets there. If you want to see it in a different look, we will go to it's the same radar data, but this just shows up in white. I just wanted you to see the just expanse of all this. I mean, it goes way on back down into New Orleans. Where did you find the New Orleans? Was that on the Media Hub?
I'll
browse the map. I guess I could find it. It's just going to be. You've already got it? Well, I see two cameras down there. Which one?
It's playing out now.
Oh, is it the one right on the lake then?
Yeah.
Okay. We can turn Ansley's mic on. She's talking.
I just turned the camera on for
You did?
New Orleans, yeah.
Okay. Oh, they're trying to hear Ansley in there. They said they can't hear you yet.
Oh, I think I hear me.
I hear you now.
There
That,
we go.
folks, that is New Orleans, Louisiana. Isn't that crazy? That is on the south side of Lake Pontchartrain there. There's somebody out walking in it.
And Ben, we have a friend, or meteorologist Alex Bryan, I have a friend who works over there.
Yeah.
She was sending us pictures this morning. They had up to 5 inches of snow over in Baton Rouge, so probably likely seeing more than that in New Orleans.
Look at this. Just like, oh, man, this is NOLA, baby. We can totally do this. It's kind of a blizzard cane. You can see the palm trees blowing. Not very often you see that in New Orleans. What about Biloxi? We had that a little bit
Yeah,
earlier.
I'll bring that one back up as well.
Yeah, earlier you couldn't even see the bridge there. But the reason I'm showing you all this, first of all, it's amazing. And you could go many, many years and never see this.
Snow at the
but
beach.
also all this stuff coming here. Yeah, that's the beach. That's Biloxi right there. Earlier it was white out. You couldn't even see the bridge. Just crazy scenes out there today. But again, just so you know that all of that's down there, that system is still churning snow up this way. And it doesn't mean it's going to look like it does in New Orleans. But it's just to show you that it's a far south system. And that's the reason we've been saying the farther south you go, the better your chances of seeing something like that. So the Dublin Skycam will probably pale in comparison to that. But here it is anyway. You can see starting to pick up on the ground, up on the rooftops for sure. And again, we'll keep watching these roads. Looks like people are moving all right on them right now with snow on top of the cars. But at some point, I would imagine, unless they really threw some brine down in some of these areas, and maybe it'll keep them pretty nice, and maybe that's the reason why they're looking pretty good. But at some point, even walking areas, sidewalks, things like that, if you were just going to go around and try to look at things and all that, I think it's going to get pretty slick pretty quickly. Ansley, yes?
See if, oh, there we go.
There we are.
I am keeping an eye on GDOT right now, just looking for any indication that there's been any sort of accidents or anything related to the weather. The only thing that we have right now is that there was a vehicle fire on I-75 northbound. That's north of Forsyth. So there's nothing that indicates that this was exactly from the weather or caused by slick roads. And that's the only thing that I'm seeing right now. But definitely, just as Ben was mentioning, as we kind of get more and more accumulation on the ground, this is just going to be extra important to pay attention to because of how cold our surface temperatures are. Things are going to stick as they do start to fall. So hopefully GDOT has done a pretty good job. I think they have done a good job in the sense that we haven't seen any traffic alerts related to the weather just yet. That's the only one that I'm seeing from them right now, but just important to pay attention to, especially as we start to head into this afternoon and this evening when the accumulation is going to get a little bit higher. Here in central Georgia, some of the photos that I'm watching from the Weather Network. This is in Warner Robins, and this post
setup there,
said, yeah, that they were getting ready for the snow. They're doing their early camp out. Jennifer Pierce mentioned this in her post, that her children are getting ready and they are setting up camp in the backyard.
That's
so
cool.
Pretty awesome setup for the kids there. And over in Bleckley County, I pulled this photo because the accumulation over there is pretty impressive. So starting to see some pretty impressive accumulation from this snowfall, and hopefully kids having fun with what's on the ground right now. But like Ben is saying, more to come. So even should be more exciting as we kind of head into the rest of the afternoon and the evening. Again, continue to share your photos with us in the Weather Network. Photos are going to be better if you want to see your stuff on air, because that's what I can pull into our server here and show them on the air. And feel free to kind of include those anecdotes. It's fun to see what you guys are doing and do your little stories there. And I am hearing from our producer that we want to look at the airport. Yeah, so let's see.
Are you talking about the Macon airport?
Oh, there we go.
So even Atlanta, who was on the edge of all this, thinking they may get kind of missed on most of this, they still have it. And I see planes trying to troll to where they need to be. So we'll see if it ends up being a problem up there. Again, temperature very cold and dropping up there. So may end up impacting flights up that way. But it's weird for once to look up there and say, yeah, well, it's heavier in Cordele. You don't ever hear that. So that's kind of odd out there. All right, so yeah, Ansley, good on those pictures. That's what helps so much in this. It's totally different than like a tornado outbreak or something like that, where we're street spotting and we're zooming in on a radar and we're really, following all that. Now it's just coming down out there, and you're the eyes on the ground. So to be able to see what's there with measurements especially, and Ainsley you made a graphic earlier, see if I can pop that up. Here it comes right here. Tips on measuring snow. Obviously, you're not going to see much of that right now, but as we get on through tonight, just find you a flat surface like a deck, railing of a deck, tabletop, something like that outside. Get your yardstick or ruler, stick it in there. Take a picture of the ruler in the snow. So that way it's kind of like, oh, proof. Okay, I can see that that's 1 inch or 2 inches or something like that. And a lot of the questions have been, how much are we going to see? And there's just no way of knowing. We've been kind of saying, or at least I have, kind of 1 inch to 2 inches in an average in any parts of central Georgia, heavier toward the south. But you could have numbers on either side of that. You know, the farther north you go, you could have less than 1 inch, maybe a trace, 2 inches plus as you go farther toward the south. But I think for most areas, 1 inch to 2 is probably a pretty good bet. Now, again, we're in a little bit of a lull for right now. Let's check back in on that because this stuff's moving in pretty quickly. See if that donut is starting to close up. And I do see snow starting to come back in. So let's say you're in the Macon, Roberta area. You can see how we had a little bit of a lull and then now starting to come back in again. So more snow on the way. The darker that blue, the steadier it is. Really wanting to see some pictures here for places like Eastman, where it is coming down. The booming metropolis of Plainfield, Georgia. Somebody check in from that. I want to see what that looks like right now. Dexter, Cadwell, places that just don't ever really get a good shot at this are really having a good time with this because this is going to continue for many hours as we go on through tonight. So from Cordele to Eastman, that's where the Cordele corridor is where we're looking at the main area of snow. But again, it goes on back. I mean, it's all way back here, still coming up as we go on through tonight. And as we look at the bigger picture, again, this is the same data, but this is taking all radars in the southeast and stitching them together, and it's white instead of blue this time. And you can clearly pick out our biggest band is that right there in our southern and southeastern counties. That lull that we have had here, notice more brighter white starting to move on in, and more behind it. It just keeps going all the way back down. So a perfect setup for snow in the south and southeast. This is not something you see very often. And there's some kids that weren't alive the last time we did something like this. And so you usually have to drive them somewhere, you know, like a week and a half ago up to North Georgia to see it. But here it is right here, and it's still coming down. Frank, what you got? You have more photos?
I think we do have some more photos. Thank you very much, Ben. We do have more pictures as you continue to go out and about in the winter wonderland. Oh, Twiggs County, Sylvia. Thanks very much. Old Pups is out in the snow. And this is Milledgeville, flurries in the bushes. Lynn Garland, 13 WMAZ Weather Network. Thank you very much, Lynn. Snowflakes in Warner Robins. These came in about 45 minutes ago. Cole Powell, also in the Weather Network. Snow on the ground in the pecan orchard. At least Paul Knight, 13 WMAZ Weather Network. And you can see it is sticking in areas. We want to see your photos. Share those winter moments with us. Text those photos, 478-752-1309, and we can share them right here on 13 WMAZ. All right, Ben's been talking about the Crisp County corridor as far as snow, and let's check in with Crisp County Sheriff Billy Hancock. Sheriff, we don't get to say it often, but you are in the middle of a snowfall event.
Man, it's almost like a snowstorm down here. It started probably about 5 after 2, and it has just picked up and got harder and harder as you've been reporting. And it continues, and I think what scares me is some of your reporting and some of your models that show the middle of Crisp and the south part of Crisp maybe getting 8 inches of snow before this is over. We've never, since I don't think about 1975, had a series like this.
So it is hard. It is snowing hard. Are you seeing a lot of people or are people, as it keeps coming down, starting to stay off the roads?
They're beginning locally to stay off the roads. Of course, we're watching the interstate that runs right through the middle of Crisp. We've got our DOT cameras up watching that traffic, and you can see the snowfall on it and what's accumulating on the side. We just checked our temperatures. We're at 29 now with a road temperature of 35 and 36. So we've enacted our state of emergency, and we're going to, ask that people, especially come dark tonight, get off the roads and not travel because, as you said, the ice is going to be a problem, I'm afraid.
So you are seeing some accumulations there right now.
Oh yes, we'll have to send you some pictures when we get through here. We've got a good amount of accumulation on cars and grass and side of the road even. except where the traffic pattern is beginning to show. And if you pull up that DOT camera, you can see it on the sides as well.
Yeah, I think Ben's working to get the DOT camera up right
Okay.
now.
It's
As far as, you know, your main concerns as the evening goes along, what will you and your staff and crews be concentrating on?
Well, we've added extra patrol this afternoon. We're going to use our outlying county fire stations to house some of our deputies so that we don't have to travel as far across the county. We've enacted a maximum speed for the deputies so that they'll travel safe. We're going to, of course, worry about the traffic. We're going to worry about accidents that could occur on black ice. We want to be available to assist our medical services with some of our heavier vehicles if they need to get off the state routes. Unlike our people to the north, South Georgia doesn't have much equipment to brine the roads and salt roads. So once you get off the state highways, we're pretty much limited to what we can do and where we can go.
Yeah, we do have the DOT camera up right now. At the moment, traffic flowing okay on I-75. Of course, that could change in a few hours. Any words that you want to send right now to the folks in Crisp County and surrounding areas who are watching?
Yeah, let's everybody go ahead and just stop. Go home, stay home. Let's watch the event. Share it with your neighbors, share it with your family, and have a good time. It's going to be a historic event, but let's all be safe. And unless we have some type of medical emergency or something of that nature, let's just stay off the road and stay home and enjoy this event.
Sheriff Billy Hancock, we always appreciate you taking time to be with us. Thank you for the job you and your folks down there do keeping people safe. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Sheriff Billy Hancock, Crisp County, as the winter weather moves into our area, state officials, as you just heard the sheriff say, urging drivers, do not be on the roads. If you do have to travel, only if you have to, prepare your vehicle, make sure tires are good, batteries good, fluid levels, avoid heavily congested areas. Hopefully there won't be that many. Bridges, of course, will always ice over first. Slow down and stay a good distance behind the car in front of you in case you do encounter slippery surfaces. And during freezing temperatures, all right, don't forget indoors, let your faucets drip. That can keep you from having a busted pipe. Also, open your cabinet doors underneath the kitchen sink. That allows warm air to circulate, and make sure maybe bump up the thermostat a little bit inside your home. Definitely don't put it down any lower than 55. Probably going to need to make sure you're above that. Outside, take the hose off, and you can cover those outdoor faucets right there, because could be some of the lowest temperatures of this month so far tonight, maybe down into the teens. All right, Ben, it is picking up. The sheriff was saying possibly 8 inches in Cordele. Another plea for snow pictures, all right? So keep texting those photos.
You're not done.
478-752-1309. As Ben said, you are our eyes right now on the ground letting us know what's happening.
Yeah, and that's the way it works. Now, when we're doing, when Frank, you know this, when we have like hurricanes, and then we'll start showing how much rainfall, 24-hour, 5-day rainfall totals. It can do that because the radar is just looking at pixel data and figuring out where all those little points were on there as the rain was coming across over a period of time. With the snow, it's not quite the same thing here. So we know that we can kind of gauge precip and where it was and this and that. But as far as what's on the ground, is it a wet, dense snow, or is it a little more fluffy? Is it, how tall are we talking with this in the depth arena with that? And so that's where you come in with this. Let's take a look at this on the Dublin Skycam. You can see how this is starting to pile up. So let's say clearly we're not at an area now where we're going to get a decent reading, but by the time we get through another 5, 6, 7 hours of this, you could go to a flat spot like down on that sort of brick bench area. On a tabletop, on a railing of a deck, something like that. And again, you just take the yardstick or the ruler and stick it down in there, and then take a picture of it while it's in the snow, and then send that in to us. And we'll start plotting these on a map, and then that'll give us a good idea of where the heavier spots were. And we knew that Dublin was going to be one of these places, not stopping the log truck there, still coming on through. And that mail, got to get it there. 2 trucks at the light. Who's going to get it? That one's first. If your letter was in the other one, it's going to be a little bit late. But we'll see how the cars do as we go on through tonight. I'm sure these roads have probably been treated. They still look pretty drivable for now. But as we go on into tonight, again, temperatures are apparently in the 20s there now. But there goes the second truck. Should start to get on down into the upper teens. So we're going to have some problem areas. So as Sheriff Billy Hancock said, if you don't have to be out in any of these places, why even try it? again, we may not have the blizzard that, which still sounds so weird, the blizzard that they're seeing in New Orleans, but we could have some problem areas. Let's check in on Perry. The fairgrounds had part of this main band, and then that made its way on down toward Eastman and Dublin. Also, some of the temperatures on the surface may not be quite ready enough for this to stick, but as we get on through, sunset coming up in another couple of hours, and then not that we're going to have a lot of sun out there, but we're going to continue to drop pretty quickly as we go on through tonight. And I think that's when we're going to see things really start to pile up a little bit more. Right now, if you were walking through the fairgrounds, your only advice would be just don't sit on that bench down there. That's the only thing that's piling up. How about the Macon area? This is going to show, here it comes, flurries, kind of hazy off in the distance back where we are on the other side of the buildings there. It's hard to tell if anything is on the rooftops because so many rooftops downtown are white already. But you can see in the parking lot, Medical Center parking lot down there. Let me see if I can jog it down that way. That gives us an idea of where things are piling up. And again, this is a lull area. The Macon area has been in kind of an area that hasn't been seeing a whole lot, just mainly lighter flurries here recently. But the steadier stuff starting to come back in. And yeah, you can see on some of the parking garages down there, the Medical Center rooftops there, getting a little bit of a coating. The roads still look good for right now, but again, some of that can change as we go on through tonight. Again, we're not at the very beginning, but we're still in the very early hours of all this. Let me show you the models again. As some models have us going late night into the overnight, the only one that wants to shut it off a little bit earlier, which the one that's been right so far, they've all been right, but the graph started straight into snow. If you remember last night, we were talking about some models showing kind of a mix and then changing over to snow, and it was like, nah, man, we're going straight to snow and staying with it. Let's go forward into 5 o'clock, still coming down, 6, 7, into 8 o'clock. And this is when it tries to sort of shut it off for the Macon, Warner Robins area, so then kind of our northern half would be done, but our southern and southeastern counties continue. Even here at midnight into 1, 2 in the morning and then gone. Now again, that's on that one. If you look at the NAM, let's pick it up from here, and snow, on top of snow, there is 8 o'clock. It did not shut it off. 10 o'clock still going into midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, then leaving Macon and then leaving our area at 6 or 7 in the morning. The latest high-res model here, the HER as we call it, shows similar. Notice how your darker colors are still farther south, so I still think that's where we're going to get our bigger totals, and the Dublin Skycam verifies that. This is 6, 7 o'clock. It does not shut off at 8 o'clock on this one either. Still going, starting to see lighter colors north and west, but it's not done on this map. There's midnight on the HER model. By 2 a.m. it's kind of done in the Macon area and then done for our whole area by 4 or 5 in the morning. So as far as answering the question of how much longer is this going to go, we're not really sure. I would say at the shortest from the HER, that would be, another 4 hours or so still going, at least for the Macon area, and longer south and east, but it could be going at midnight. So we'll see. Let's get back into the radar shot. Checking on the lull, seeing if it's starting to pick back up. And yes, it is. So the lull now is from Irwinton, Sandersville, Milledgeville, Warner Robins, maybe still a little bit. It's not a dark blue back here, but it is snow still. I mean, this is definitely the heavier right along down here, but lighter here, which again is going kind of with what the models were showing, but at least snow. This down here, though, it's like Sheriff Hancock said, it is an historic event. It's something that a lot of people are going to remember for a long time. I mean, it does not have the markings of 1973 or anything like that yet. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I don't think we're going to see that. But everyone will remember. Do you remember when Cordele got whatever they end up, seeing, or Eastman or Cadwell, all these places, McRae eventually as this moves on over, places that watch snow events from afar usually, and just wait to see if we can get a flurry out of it, or maybe some sort of a drizzly sort of mix of sleet or something like that. But this is right in the wheelhouse now. So let's get into the big picture. Again, it's the same data, but this is all radars across the south stitched together, and instead of using blue, we're using white here. That's not cloud cover, that is all snow. And you can see that it goes all the way back down to New Orleans, where we've been showing cameras from down there with the palm trees leaning like in a hurricane, tropical storm, and just whiteout conditions. Just amazing. We were looking in Biloxi, all these places, Mobile Bay, getting into the panhandle of Florida, and even more of those spots in Florida as we go through tonight. So that conveyor belt continues for us. As long as you're still seeing snow back here in these areas. It'll just continue coming from these areas tonight, as you saw in the models here. So until you start to see things shut off kind of back in this area, which is the area that'll eventually lean in here, then you'll start to know, okay, that's the back edge. We don't see a back edge just yet, so it's just continuing to go on this same spot over and over again. So again, there will be lulls, but there will be times where it'll kind of pick up once again. And each time you go outside, you'll see a little bit more. Yes? Okay, this is a GDOT camera, I-16 in the Macon area. This is Bibb County. Can't tell which way we're looking with that. Looks like the cars are going a little bit slower than normal there. We're looking west, so we're looking back toward Macon. So this is coming in. And what does the sign say? Winter storm warning, drive with caution, reduce speed. That's why they're going slower. They read the sign there, so that's good. So they're coming into our area, and they're going to have to kind of get to a crawl once they get on in. What were you saying? We're going to Ansley now? Is that what you said there, Megan? Yes, Ansley, welcome.
Let's do it. All right. Well, we were kind of clicking around sky cams, at least here in Central Georgia earlier. We have access to a lot of really cool sky cams. So that was downtown Macon. Meteorologist Alex Pry came over here earlier and showed me a photo from Auburn, Alabama. So they're seeing a lot of snowfall too. A lot of this line is coming in from the west. So we're kind of seeing similar stories to counties and to cities just to our west. So that's a look at Auburn, Alabama over there. Other places that are starting to see a lot of accumulation, even LaGrange. I'll play this one out for you. So here is a look at LaGrange, starting to see a lot of snowfall, kind of fogging up the sky cam here. And definitely, if we could tilt this one down, you'd be able to see some accumulation there. Like Macon and like other areas here across Central Georgia, Columbus kind of seeing a similar story. So you can start to see this piling up on the rooftops here. Still seeing people out on the roads, but again, as we kind of head into the rest of this evening, temperatures keep dropping. Road conditions will likely not be the best in those areas either. Now, way out further to our west, when we're talking about, you may have seen earlier the sky cam that we showed over in New Orleans. I'll show it one more time because it is just the most incredible sight ever, and it's perfect that there's a palm tree blowing around in this because it really just kind of gives you the picture of how absolutely crazy this is, that New Orleans is seeing this much snowfall. Still continuing to come down steadily. I mean, we've been checking in on this sky cam for at least an hour, maybe even 2 hours, and they are still continuing to see steady snowfall just continuing to pile on, and almost like a blizzard in that area. The wind blowing, starting to see a lot of accumulation, and just not letting it go. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Right there. Yeah, that's Lake Pontchartrain on the left, I think, because we're on the bottom edge
it sure
right
is.
there.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. I mean,
Absolutely crazy.
Never seen anything like it. New Orleans.
So that's kind of what's going out further to our west. I'll show Biloxi one more time as well, just because I think it's so cool that you can see snow at the beach also.
Yeah.
Oh, careful on the roads out there. All right, well, this is also Biloxi, Mississippi. We've been looking at this one a couple times too, because you can see the snowfall coming right up on the shore, which is also just, again, absolutely incredible.
And earlier you couldn't even see the bridge.
Yeah, a lot of that heavy snowfall for periods of time, which is kind of what we've been seeing here too. There's heavier lines coming through at certain times. So here in Central Georgia, I'm keeping an eye on our weather network. So if you're in our weather network submitting photos, let me know. I also just kind of made a post calling for pictures specifically from our southern half here in Central Georgia, because that's kind of where we're seeing that heavier line come through right now. So interested to see some photos from there. But right now, I do have a photo from Roberta, Georgia, and this is from Tina Santo. She says this is Casey's very first snowfall. And I'm seeing a lot of pictures just like that in the Weather Network too. Lots of kids getting out and enjoying the snowfall and seeing their first snowfall. So super exciting to see that. Continue to send me, especially those kind of photos, because who doesn't love to see those?
We can't see enough of those.
Exactly. So I'm keeping an eye on that, but specifically asking right now to see some photos from our southeastern half where it looks like snowfall at the moment is the heaviest, so we can kind of get a picture of what things are looking like in Dooley and Crisp and Wilcox, Dodge, Telfair, Wheeler, Treutlen, etc., all those counties down further towards the south. So I'm going to keep monitoring our weather network. I'll send it back over to Frank. He's going to talk to us a little more about
snowsuit. Oh.
Yeah.
Who knew that they'd actually have to use that? That's great. All right, earlier this afternoon, Governor Kemp giving an update on how the state is preparing for this winter weather. It's not only here. We saw the picture of the Atlanta airport. It's snowing up there. Nearly 250 National Guardsmen have been deployed across the state, as well as power crews, officials, and we've talked with a couple of them, warning people to stay off the roads unless it's absolutely necessary and to stay inside.
You can't get to people to get them moved so you can keep brining, so you can keep plowing, so you can keep putting salt out. So the less people we got on the roads, if we do have something like that happen, it allows us to get to those people, clear that roadway, which is imperative if we're trying to get fire trucks or ambulances and our first responders to people that need them.
Yeah, Governor Kemp again reiterating, do not be on the road if you don't have to. Some more photos. Ashley Nelson, snow is sticking in Byron. It's going to be a pretty scene once the snow continues to fall and covers the ground. Victoria Parker sent us this. This is Bo's first snow experience. Not sure if Bo's thrilled, but Bo will grow to like it. One of our viewers sent us a photo from Butler. A little hazy out there, but you can see the snow starting to build up in Butler. That's over there in Taylor County. And this is Yatesville on the way to Thomaston. That's a pretty picture right there. A winter wonderland in Yatesville, and yet another snowball from over in Cochrane. All right. We want to see your photos, of course. Keep sending them to us. Share those winter weather moments with us. Take photos and video when it's safe. The good thing, as Ben said, a snow scene right now is a lot different than hurricane scene. 478-752-1309, and we can share them right here on 13 WMAZ. 13WMAZ.com. All the sky cams in one place, Ben.
Yeah, and so, I mean, each one you go to, each time you're seeing a little bit more in there, especially like the Dublin sky cam. So one look around with the numbers here. McRae is the only place sitting at 34 underneath our banner there. There we go, 32 in Rochelle. So we're almost to where everybody's below freezing, and once that happens, we're only going lower. So we're really getting on into the thick of it as we go on through tonight. There's nothing that's going to prevent this from sticking, so we will just pile it up as we go on through tonight. And again, it may go to the overnight. Let's see, Alex handed me this a minute ago. New Orleans, still snow. I know we're talking about New Orleans because, again, just the amazingness.
In the Super Bowl in 2.5 weeks.
Right.
Imagine if this...
They've already reported 7 inches of snow over there, and it's still coming down. So again, when people ask about what is what are we looking at here? No way of knowing exactly. But what we're going to say is about 1 inch to 2 inches in some spots, lesser in some, more in others. And obviously this map kind of tells the story. I think the majority of our bigger numbers will be here, where you're seeing the darker blue, and a little bit lighter as we get up top, again, which is backwards thinking from what we usually see. It's usually the heavier toward the north here. So again, places like Dublin, Eastman, really coming down with that heavy band that's coming through there now. And as we go on over to the, well, let's see, that's Biloxi. Let's try, let's go Macon Skycam, because there's been some change even since we looked at that last. You can see now on the parking garage of the medical center getting more and more white down there, coming down at a pretty good clip. We were in a little bit of a lull in Macon for a while, but now some of the rooftops, some of them were already white anyway, but they're all kind of leaning that way. And again, the roads still look pretty good from what I can tell from here now, but as you know, obviously there's been some treatment put down, some brine and all that. We'll see how well that holds. Let's go to Dublin, and again, this has been one of the more impressive Skycam shots here recently. As they continue to totally cover the grass and the whole front to the theater out there now, and the rooftops there are totally covered now with snow. Roads are still looking fairly decent. Cars are still going by, but again, temperature just dropping on down. We're looking at upper teens by the time we get into tomorrow morning, so I'm sure a lot of these folks are heading out doing their thing or maybe coming home from work. But I think once you get home, I would just say call it a night. And not try to get back out there again. Because, you know, somebody, if you get stuck somewhere, somebody's got to go out there and get you. It's like, I think the governor was saying that too, you know, and trying to get in these places. And then everybody, you got other people putting their, you know, themselves at risk trying to get you and all that. So just stay off the roads if you can. I'm sure these folks are going to try to get on home. Let's see about the fairgrounds in Perry. That one has not showed a whole lot of sticking just yet. I don't know, though. It's looking better as far as it's coming down a little better, and the grass is starting to pick it up now.
It is.
So, and once we get a good base down on the ground, then it'll start to be an area where just more and more will stick to it. It will. Frank's chuckling. It's just because you're from up like Detroit and Philly, right? So you probably saw that stuff all the time.
Well, I know it. But true, this is more fun, though, because up there, it snows all the time.
Yeah, no thanks.
And after the first one, it's like, gosh,
Yeah,
no,
we
man.
got to go shovel the driveway again. That's
This
no
is
fun.
neat, exactly.
Yeah, we do this about every 7 years. We're all
Yes.
right. Ansley, what you got?
We were looking, there we go. We were looking at the Skycam in LaGrange earlier. You know, it was kind of fogged out because of how much snow they
Yeah.
had. So now we're seeing reports in the National Weather Service chat about the Troup County EMA saying they're having a large amount of vehicle accident calls in a really short amount of time. So just something to pay attention to, because as we said, this can get heavier at times. You don't exactly know when it's going to be super heavy. And when it does, it can come down really quickly, especially on the roads. And that's when you're looking at hazardous conditions on the road. So kind of an example coming
Yeah.
from LaGrange, what's going on in Troup County, to just take this as your excuse to just go ahead, stay home, stay indoors, or maybe stay outdoors, play with the snow, but don't go out on the roads. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the latest in terms of traffic.
And the cool thing is you don't have to go see all that stuff because we're trying to show it to you. I mean, we can just show it to you. And now, you know, the iPhone, I say it like it just happened. And now in the iPhone world, we went away from that rotary dial. Ansley's over there like, what is rotary dial? But yeah, now you know, it's a shared experience now. Everybody can share what they're seeing, and you don't have to get out and ride around and see all this. So I'm just kind of panning around here with the Skycam in Perry. It's really pretty with the lakes out there, that it's finally starting to get a little bit lighter on the grass there now. And you can see a little bit of a breeze, not too bad, but it's starting to kind of collect a little bit on the west gate coming into the fairgrounds. And again, more and more of this as we go on through tonight. But just a little while ago, checking the Perry Skycam and not seeing much on the ground, but now that's starting to change. There's not just that one bench down there now. So I think we're going to see the same kind of scenes we've been seeing off to the west when we've been checking in on those places like Ansley was showing. Again, Dublin, one of the more impressive areas, continues to come down there. The Macon area, once again, you can kind of get a gauge from the parking garages down that way. Let me see if I can do a little moving around. Because again, this is not like a severe weather event where we're just very radar focused and you know, not showing Skycams very often because we're chasing a tornado or something like that. This is just what everybody wants to do. Just look out the window and see it. So we just kind of move around. We do have some grassy areas down there. We'll see if that starts to fill in a little bit. I think it was a good call canceling schools today. That worked out. So it's a running joke, but when everybody was like, uh-oh, Houston County went, they're like, this is not a drill. So after that, everybody's like, okay, the Houston County's not going, we're not going. So they're usually one of the last ones, but they're usually right on, so good for them. What? Going over to Frank? Okay.
Oh.
Frank, it's you.
Oh, we are. All right, we're going to check in with the folks in Lawrence County today. Appreciate y'all being on the line with us right now. What's happening out in Lawrence County right now? Are you starting to see some snow picking up?
Yes, sir. Seeing quite a bit now. It's been actually snowing pretty good for about the last hour, I would say.
Billy Laird, you're not used to seeing snow, are you?
It's been quite a few years. I'll tell my age if I say exactly how many.
All right, now, are you seeing a lot of people still out right now, or you see traffic starting to thin out?
Traffic's actually starting to thin out. It was actually pretty light earlier from looking at some of the cameras and other things. But, yeah, people don't seem to be out and about. It's a good thing. The roadways are actually starting to get a little wet, so as the temperature drops, we expect and anticipate that to become a problem.
Yeah, that was my next question, Billy. How are the roads right now, and what do you envision over the next few hours?
If the snow continues and the surfaces are becoming wet, you know, on the highways and roads. So as the temperature, if it continues to snow and the temperatures continue to fall, we're probably going to see quite a bit of black ice in several areas, especially at intersections, things of that nature.
What are some of the main things that you and your crews are going to be focused on this evening?
Trying to just make sure that if somebody has an emergency that we can reach them, trying to keep our facilities and critical facilities accessible. I know GDOT has worked all of the state and major routes. We've had county and city crews taking care of a lot of the tertiary roads, secondary and tertiary roads. But you know, this is something that's hard to prepare for in our part of the country.
All right, your advice to people tonight in Lawrence County?
Stay home, stay warm, unless you absolutely have to get out. If you're out, take plenty of time, drive slow, and proceed with caution.
Billy Laird, thanks very much. We certainly appreciate you checking in with us, and stay safe out there.
No problem. Thank you.
Billy Laird, Lawrence County EMA Director. And of course, as we were talking to him, Ben had popped up the Dublin Skycam. You can see it is continuing to snow over there, and it continues to come down. And as Billy Laird said, just not used to seeing snow in this part of our area. We're just not used to seeing it. And so the best thing is, if you're going to get out, just go out in your surrounding area, the yard, the neighbor's yard, wherever. Don't resist the urge to get in the car and drive around and see what's out there right now, because you could be involved in an accident, and then they're going to have to send crews out. All right, some more photos, I believe, coming in right now. We've seen several pet photos, but this is...
I don't think that...
no, that's a snow angel right there. Oh, yes, indeed. Well, well done. Well done, the snow angel. Oh, that was this one... Beautiful scene right there. Very
well done,
picturesque.
Frank.
Oh, look, Ben.
Look.
Oh, yeah, Kelly spotted this herd of deer in Monroe County. Look at them all.
That's cool.
Yeah, the photo before, that was Whitney Everidge. All right, and then the herd of deer in Monroe County. Candace Perry, this is from Warner Robins. First snow with a very nifty snowsuit on, staying nice and warm. Flurries were really coming down in Crawford County earlier, too, as you can see some video. Casey sent us some photos and video as it starts to stick to the ground right there. As we head towards the proverbial winter wonderland, Heather Urban sent us this video. Some folks grabbing sleds. Never too early to head down the hill.
Yeah, they're going.
Woo! This was in Bayfront Park. Oh, that looks like fun. Are we allowed to do that in the back hill?
I would.
Has the boss given approval?
I wouldn't recommend it. It ends right into the asphalt parking lot.
Oh, okay.
It's a rough ending.
Right into the storm lab.
That's
All
right, yeah.
There we go. Woo, down the hill. All right, keep sending these moments so we can share them. 478-752-1309, and we'll continue to keep you entertained. All right, Ben and Ansley, back to you.
All right, just as a little kind of inside baseball right here, our newsroom earlier was kind of asking where we should send crews to be able to see some of this stuff. And Dublin is one of those places, but also, guys in the newsroom, if you are looking here on the map, I wanted to show you that anywhere in this area is going to be where I think we're going to get our biggest totals, and it is really starting to pile up there now. So, and there's no let up in this leading band. So this is where it continues over and over, almost like training, as we say, with thunderstorms raining over the same places. So from Cordial up through Eastman into Dublin, Hawkinsville, places like that, I think we're going to start to see it pile up even more. Now, I'm not saying that anywhere else, you know, that we're going to see super low totals everywhere else. I mean, we're still seeing snow in other parts. I mean, like if you look at for the northern half of our area, you can see some of the dark blue back here. All that eventually comes this way. So again, there are lulls in it, there are little breaks. We're seeing a little bit of that for Crawford Taylor, parts of Peach, South Bibb right now. It's not shutting off, it's just more of a flurries. But definitely the steadier is what we're seeing down here in that blue. Now again, same radar stitched together with all radars in the southeast, and instead of showing up in blue, we're using it as white. That is not cloud cover. I know it looks like a satellite with clouds, but the clouds are off. Just to show you how it would be confusing, if I put the clouds back on, you can see we'd have a hard time picking out the snow. So we're going to take the clouds away. And again, you can see it goes all the way down, as we keep saying, New Orleans with already over 7 inches of snow. Well, yeah, and what we're trying to get on the camera.
The stream of the camera is unavailable.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's a shame. Where was that?
It was the Welcome to Florida sign had snow all
Not
over
in I-75 though. It must have been coming down in the Panhandle, the Western Panhandle.
I'd assume, yeah, that's.
There's a camera somewhere that is like the Panhandle of Florida, or, Welcome to Florida sign with snow coming down, which is just the wildest thing. Okay, we're seeing we have crews on the way to Dublin and Perry. Perry sounds good. May want to check into kind of a Hawkinsville or a Cordial, one of those as well. I'm not saying that Perry's not going to get more, but that main band is setting up mainly. Dooley, Crisp, Pulaski, Wilcox, Bleckley, Dodge, Lawrence, Trutland. That's in parts of Johnson County. That's where we're seeing the majority of it. And I'm sure that the McCratians are watching going, well, hold on now. You said this was coming in there. It is. All of this eventually is going to move over that way. It's a little stubborn right now, but and I know if you're in McRae and you're like, man, we've never really seen much of anything snow-wise, then give it time. It's going to continue to come that way. But for right now, it is stuck right through here. So we're going to start putting up some big totals. Once again, if you're in these areas, and we're probably not getting far from having something somewhat measurable, and we still have many more hours to go. But again, a tip on how to do this, and we want to see the pictures. And I forgot about earlier, you can text pictures, photos to 752-1309, and that's another way to get stuff to us. The 13 WMAZ Weather Network page on Facebook. Lots of ways you can send us stuff, and of course Ansley's putting all this stuff together and firing it out there. And what we want to be able to do as we get on through tonight is try to figure out what's on the ground. It's not like how we can show you a 24-hour, 3-day, 5-day rainfall total after a storm system moves through. This is different. Once it's on the ground with snow, we really rely on people old school with a ruler and stick it in the snow so we can see how it goes. You need a flat surface, tabletop, deck, something like that, and just put it in and then take a picture of it while the stick is in there so we can see the number. And then we'll start kind of getting a good idea, plotting on a map. Well, if we're seeing 2 inches here, 2 inches here, then we can start kind of drawing out areas where we think were the heaviest one. You know, obviously right now we can see that with the radar with some of the heavy, the brighter colors of banding there. Let's see. Okay, our crews are going to be in Perry and Dublin. We have have hotels there and everything and set up. So as we get into tomorrow, some of these places like Hawkinsville and all that, we'll check those areas out too. Of course, our crews have to stay safe wherever they are, and the roads are only going to get worse in some of these areas. Again, looking back toward the west, if you're looking for dark blue and seeing these patches coming through Columbus, again, they're going to ride up this way too. So yes, there is this main steady band down here, but don't give up on it up here in some of our northern half. As it looks like it's mainly just kind of a steady light snow for most spots, but again, a little bit heavier as you go south. Let's get into, I'm going to show you the numbers again here. And McRae, oh, so close, 33. We're almost at everybody is below freezing, and almost that every place is in the 20s. So definitely everything that's coming down is not going anywhere. It's just going to stick. So sometimes that's another problem. We have snow down here in the south. Is it going to accumulate? Or we'll say we don't expect any accumulation, but it will be a novelty thing where you can see a few flurries. That is not the case with this. So this is the real deal. And let's check back in on that sky cam. This is Dublin. Dublin really starting to coat it up down there now as it's coming down pretty steadily. And we showed you the Megan, if we have a chance to pull that GDOT camera in Cordele, that one again, where Billy Hancock, there's somebody on a bike down there.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah. That's a fun ride on a Tuesday afternoon right there. So yeah, some of the GDOT cameras are pretty crazy, like with Sheriff Billy Hancock in Crisp County a little bit earlier, seeing that come down on the interstate, pretty wild. And again, we can move this around. We just talked to Mr. Laird there in Lawrence County about their road situations. And again, for right now, everything holding up pretty well. But again, as you get on in later on tonight, once we get established a pretty good base of snow and everything, and then these roads, especially some of the secondary roads that don't get traveled as much or may not receive as much of the treatment as some of the main roads, you're going to have some slick spots. Because we're already in the upper 20s there, and I would imagine that some of these areas that are not getting driven over and over, like some of these parking spots, may already be glazing over.
The bike.
You want to see the bike, dude? Oh, there he goes. He just went by. He didn't hang out very long in the park there. Ansley, I'm sorry, I'm over here just having fun moving this camera around, and you're waving over there like, come on.
Well,
man.
I'm just, if you want to see some more photos,
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
some more photos. We can talk about that.
Go with it.
All right. Well, this one is from Vienna. This is from Jennifer Denman. So definitely starting to see some pretty good accumulation. And what you're not about to see that I'm going to work on loading in just a few minutes here is I'm now starting to see a lot of photos from where Ben just circled that heaviest band. And it does look like there's a lot of spots in some of those photos where if you walked outside and stuck your ruler in it and then sent us a photo, we could get a pretty good idea
Probably
of
could get a
how
measurement.
much you're seeing it maybe even be close to half an inch at this point, so that would be awesome. But some more fun photos. This photo is from Sandersville. This is from Harley Price. It's just great to see kids enjoying snow, especially because we don't really get to see that a lot here in central Georgia.
Great.
So that's a fun one there. This one is from Hawkinsville. So again, a lot of photos now coming in that have some pretty impressive accumulation.
That's in that band too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So if your photos are looking great. If you just walk outside and stuck a ruler in it and sent another photo, we could get a really good idea. And like Ben said, start pulling together a map of kind of where we're seeing the heaviest stuff at the moment and just what the measurements are as well. Another fun one that I got is from Eastman. This is from Lynn Coleman. She told me grandmas have fun in the snow too.
Yeah,
so it's not all just
that's
about
right.
the kids. Grandmas can have fun in the snow too. I know Frank's clapping over there.
Yeah.
So
Grandma
very, very
Frank.
fun. And like I just said, now I'm seeing your photos coming in from more of our southeastern counties. I'm also seeing a lot from Dodge County that I'm about to work on pulling in, and then we can kind of get a better idea. Alex also just told me that the picture from the Florida sign with the snow on it is in our weather network too. So we'll work on pulling all that together for you. But that is the update right now from what we're
just
seeing.
amazing.
Awesome stuff. Really, really
Yeah,
awesome
I mean,
stuff.
each time you keep showing pictures, the background is getting more impressive back there.
Yeah,
The grass,
exactly.
and we're seeing more and more of it back there. Yeah, the Dublin Skycam for the win today
Yes.
so far. This is the one that is the main one because it is in that band that's going through. And as we saw the picture there in Pulaski County, Hawkinsville area, folks, I mean, there are still hours and hours to go with all this. So, I mean, it's not like it's about to be over and this is it. I mean, we're just going to keep piling up. And Ainsley made a good point. You probably could be at a half an inch in some of these spots in that band already. And again, a lot of questions. I still see them on the Facebook stream over here. You know, what about how long is this going to go, or the rainfall, the snowfall totals? And we were going to say 1 inch to 2 as an average more south, but there could be numbers a little less or even a little bit more. Some of the models, what was it earlier today, Alex? Was it trying to put 3-4 inches in some of our southern counties? Some of them, on the best case scenario, or like the leaning toward the heaviest was 3 to 4, I think.
Yeah, even this morning the graph had it.
Yeah, 3 to 4 even.
Oh,
the
we
graph
have
was
our
showing.
first measurement.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hit
From
us.
the National Weather Service chat. I don't have a photo of it here, but this is from the National Weather Service
And Lynn,
chat.
you get to be a part of it.
Yes, you do.
She'll just be here for the ride.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Go.
This is from Crisp County, the sheriff's office. They walked outside with a ruler
Yep.
and they sent us a photo, and they're up to 1 inch in Crisp County.
Yeah.
That is unreal.
So we are seeing measurements of very measurable snowfall across central Georgia. So 1 inch in Crisp County right now. Again, the more you walk outside with your ruler, the more we can kind of start plotting these on the map. That will be my first plot. So
That's
that's
good.
exciting stuff.
We're off and running. I'm
Very,
looking over
very
here
cool.
in Facebook, over a half inch in Hawkinsville. I don't see a picture, but somebody just said that over here.
Yep.
Just a guess.
But just some of these locations, just hearing of these spots that as long as we've been doing it, I mean, you
You don't go south to see snow.
you don't ever even hear it. And you might hear of a flurry, or somebody will do the fun thing right where they write "We will rebuild" on their windshield or something, and like a little dust like that, you know, or show like a little table leaning like
That's
that.
it.
But this is crazy. The farther south you go, this is something you just don't see very often. That's for sure. All right, so that's the Dublin Skycam. Let's go back to let's check in on Perry. Perry was starting to kind of add it up as well. It's going to come your way. Yeah, starting to get a base down there. So again, once you get that, then you just start going from there. You're not on wet grass or anything, and now you're getting a freezing layer sitting down there. And the numbers, as we said, continue to drop in all these places. And of course, the fairground's always a pretty place to see. But as we zoom around here, you can see, heading on off toward the baby barn and the clock tower. Yeah, this is all going to go white here in a little bit. We'll start to see more of this piling up. Of course, the rooftops are already white, so you can't really tell on that. But as you look out where we would normally see, coming in to the Georgia National Fair out there, a lot of the grass is covered up already with some snow, and again, just going to pile up even more. Let's check in on Macon and see downtown about that. That's about to pop up on your screen. And yeah, this is looking off from the Heart Center there at the medical center, and that's looking kind of the opposite way we normally look. Let's see if we do a little pan around here. Again, some of the rooftops in Macon are already white, but we're seeing more and more of that. As I pan around, you can see, and they're all going that way now. So we're starting to get that look that a lot of these other cameras to the west, Columbus, LaGrange, I think some of the places that Ainsley was showing, Auburn just a little while ago. So a lot of white, yeah, you can see the parking garage down there at the medical center now is getting covered up. So really starting to accumulate, which is not something, again, that we see very often here, but we have, So many things have to come together to have this to happen, and we definitely have the cold air, we have the moisture content, the precip to go with it, and the air is getting colder as we speak. So one of those rare events where it's lining up just right. Let's go back to the radar and see about what's coming through and if we have any lulls or heavy patches out there. I'll show you first this one that shows it in the blue, and again, this is our main band down here, and notice how it is not budging. It just keeps going from Cordele on up through Hawkinsville, Eastman, into Dublin, same places, Abbeville, probably seen a good bit of that. So duly with the snow today, and again, more of that still coming tonight. As we go up top, seeing a little bit lighter here, as we mentioned. No, I wouldn't call it a lull, but you'll see some little broken patches, and some models were kind of hinting at some of this being this way the farther north you go. But again, look at Columbus. You can see some darker shaded areas here, and if that holds together, then that's going to be another burst that'll come through in a little bit. And really, I got to be honest, I'm a little surprised to see some of it, the darker colors as far up as in Atlanta as it was, because some of the models were not really putting it up that way. So one way or another, Atlanta's going to find a way to get snow. We can't seem to pull that trick every time, but same radar, all the radar is put together, and instead of blue, it's in white. So again, that's not cloud cover. That is all snow. That represents frozen precip. And again, you can see it goes all the way up to Atlanta, from Atlanta to Cordele. Pretty crazy. With the heaviest weather down in this southern band. And really, as we go on back, Panhandle of Florida, I mean, look at how steady that is. Pensacola, Mobile, coming into Panama City, just a ton of snow about to run into Panama City and Tallahassee in a little bit. That is wild. I mean, you could go decades without seeing something like that. And again, as we've been showing, New Orleans still going, and the camera from there earlier was, are we doing like a who can pull it up faster? No, I'll try it. I'll try to see if I can do it. The younger bucks are a little bit faster with the map here. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if I do have it. I do have it. Okay, so going, and you probably say, I don't live in New Orleans, man. Well, so you're going to watch this anyway because this is cool. Hold on, let me show you this. Look at that. That is crazy.
Uh-oh, the person's getting out of the car, it looks like.
I dropped my wallet earlier today here. I'm looking for my AirPod. It's a little white thing. Have you seen it?
Oh my gosh. Please, why are you out?
Oh, that's NOLA, baby. They're tough down there.
Yeah, they are. Wow.
That is insane. Earlier we had 7 inches reported. That's gone, what had to have gone up.
Maybe he just is getting...
Well, how long ago was that 7 inches of snow?
That was...
What do you think? They're 8, 9, 10 inches of snow?
One area.
I think... Looks like he's walking now, or is he going
Well,
to
the lake's to the left. If you go too far, you're going to be in the lake. That's Lake Pontchartrain.
Is he
on
going
the
to
left.
take a picture? Oh, my. Well, the other car now went around him. That's a truck, at least. Ooh.
You just leave your car right there.
Yes.
That's cool. Oh. Wow, so that's New Orleans. Yeah.
No.
That is just amazing to see. And then we have one more right here. Is this actually... That's also New Orleans.
Okay.
Not that you can really tell. But just to show you how far south all this is, we're going to go back to our cameras here. As we showed you earlier, let's check in because in case you had some travel and you were wanting to do out of Atlanta, clearly the airport, don't want trouble there. This is going to come your way now. And again, they're on the top edge of this, really not seeing as much as what we're seeing in our southern counties here. But there's an issue at the airport in Atlanta, and then as we go to this other one right here, before we go back to see our cameras, this is going to be another camera shot from the airport there. Plane's trying to trudging along through there. Let's go back to the Dublin camera, and then what were you saying, Megan, to me in my ear? I heard something. Okay, let's see.
Actually, in the mention of that, there is an incident for icy patches on 475 in both directions. It does report that there has been an accident, maybe.
Is that a Hartley Bridge coming from Hartley Bridge?
Yes.
The
All right, that's looking south.
Yes.
All right, Hartley Bridge is off in the distance. This is where you curve around to take 475 north coming at us.
Yeah.
That's what that is. And this is why you see those signs that bridges
Yes.
freeze before everything else. They have all the frozen air underneath them and all around them. They don't have an insulated ground underneath them, so they're going to go first. What did you say, Ainsley? There's been some trouble?
Yes, so I'm trying to get it into our traffic alerts graphic so that you can also read it on the screen behind me. But it says there's icy patches on 475 in both directions at State Route 19 because of they've closed all lanes in that area. So definitely reports of icy roads. And here I'm trying to
We have a
pull
picture
it up
behind
for you
you.
really quick. This is actually what I was going to show you a minute ago. Ben was talking about those areas of heaviest bands, and this is in Dexter, so kind of just to the south of Dublin. Take a look. I mean, I wish I could kind of zoom in. Take a look at that right there. And that is a lot of accumulation. I would say that's a good amount. If we're seeing an inch over in Crisp County, it's likely we're seeing close to an inch in this area as well. So a lot of accumulation in those heavy areas. And then I'm trying to get this traffic alert up for you, but like I just said, icy roads, and there is a closure on 475 in both directions at State Route 19, and all lanes are closed. So icy roads, starting to see some heavy accumulation. We're really starting to get into the thick of things as well. So keeping an eye on all those things, and your reports have been very, very helpful. So thank you for sending those, and continue to do that. I'm going to take it over to Frank. He's going to keep giving us some more information.
And we want to see more measurements because Crisp County in the lead right now, 1 inch. So, all right, if you want to keep watching snowfall, 13WMAZ.com, all our weather sky cams in one place, Macon, Perry, Dublin, Atlanta. Pick a sky cam and watch the flakes fall. Now, as the winter weather moves into our area, state officials again urging folks do not be on the road. I'm not really sure why you'd want to be out, but make sure your vehicle is prepared. Also, tires, if you have really worn tires, you get in a slick spot and you have absolutely no control. Also, make sure your battery's been checked recently. As Ben was just talking about, the bridges, you really got to be careful on those. A couple of things to make sure you do: slow down and keep a safe distance between the vehicle in front of you. At home tonight, as we go into the teens, let the faucets drip so you don't get a busted pipe. You can open your cabinet doors and that'll allow warmer air to get in. Also, keep the heat going in your house higher than 55. Disconnect the hoses outside. You can put a little covering over it. I usually wrap a couple socks around the outside faucet to make sure it stays nice and dry. And if you're worried about pets, I've got about 8 blankets on the one cat who refuses to come in outside, the neighborhood cat. But use a sweater, or as far as, make sure they're safe. And tonight, if at all possible, bring them in. I mean, it's going to be really cold outside. And if not, pile some blankets up, give them a place where they can go to stay warm. Another key safety issue to keep in mind: using generators correctly. Generator safety is crucial, especially during a power outage. Place your generator outside 6 to 10 feet from your home in a well-ventilated area to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Never run your generator indoors. That includes garages. Always allow it to cool before you refuel it to avoid fire hazards. As temperatures drop into the teens, generators can help power essential items, but only when used safely.
Make sure it's outdoors in a well-ventilated area, away from your home. Try to keep it 6 to 10 feet at least away from anything. Never refuel it while it's hot.
All right, Ben, you're telling me Houston County schools have closed tomorrow?
And they are reporting, Ansley says, accumulation on the roads now, too.
Accumulation on the road. All right, so Houston County schools, you're closed again tomorrow, too. Back to generators. Say if you don't have a generator, layer up, seal your home to retain heat. Heavy blankets and closely monitored space heaters can also help with those space heaters. Don't ever leave them unattended. Macon Transit Authority will begin bus service tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. That's because of the current snow and the fact it's going to be really cold in the morning. So if you ride the bus, Macon Transit Authority, great folks, always out there transporting you safely, but they'll start tomorrow at 10 a.m. They wrapped up at noon today, which was perfect timing. Some more photos, an artsy photo. Carlin sent this in from Bonaire. Snowflakes up close. Kristen Clemens snapped a photo of her furry friend enjoying the snow. Here is Miss Alexia enjoying the snow. A snow day. Gotta love a snow day. They're always good, and you don't get many of them here. Walker got to experience snow for the first time. Kind of a good build-up there behind him. He's obviously excited. Keeps texting those photos to us. Videos 478-752-1309. And we'll continue to share them. All right, now we're going to check in with the folks over in Bleckley County. EMA Director Matthew Kelly is joining us. Matthew, welcome. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. What's happening over there in Bleckley County?
Well, we're getting a good bit of snow, and looks like we've got a good bit of accumulation on the ground at this point. Everything is very white.
Matthew, when was the last time you saw snow in Bleckley County?
I would have to say it was probably in the 2000s at some point. Probably not this much, but we did have a day of it in the late 2000s.
All right, now, is it coming down pretty steadily there?
It was earlier. It's kind of slacked off just a little bit, but it was coming down pretty heavy earlier. But like I said, as far as the accumulation, there's not too much of the ground that you can see now. It's all pretty much white.
All right, as far as traffic out there right now, roadways, are the road surfaces still pretty good?
Yes, our county road department is taking care of the bridges on the county roads, and GDOT had hit yesterday afternoon all the state highways that run through Bleckley County.
All right, Matthew, as the evening goes along, what is the main focus going to be for you and your crews down there in Bleckley County?
Well, we're just going to be on standby. Hopefully everybody enjoys the snow at home and stays off the roadways if possible. We're just ready to respond to whatever happens, but we would prefer not to have to respond to anything if possible.
All right, and your words of advice then, I guess you pretty much summed it up right there. If folks don't have to be out, they shouldn't be. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Emergency responders will be there to help when needed, but they can help us by, if they don't have to be out on the roads traveling, to stay at home. If they have to, just to use extreme caution, because the roadways are going to be slippery, and of course at night they may have that freezing, and it's a little bit harder to see also.
All right, Matthew, Chief Meteorologist Ben Jones would like to ask you something right now. Go ahead, Ben.
Sure.
Hey, man, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How about
Hey,
yourself?
this is funny right here, okay? I'm reading a message. This may not make it in time, but this is Jamie Kelly, Chief Matt Kelly's wife. He is the Bleckley County EMA Director. If he gets a call, his kids would love to see Ben ask Chief Kelly about how he told his daughters that it wasn't going to snow. We're giving him a hard time because he was wrong. We love our chief. What do you say?
Well, I'm glad I was wrong for their sake.
Yeah, you're a hero now. Yeah.
I tell them that, to follow Ben Jones, don't listen to me necessarily. If Ben says it's going to snow.
Hey, you don't want to listen to this chief here either. I'm telling you. Anyway, I had to get that in there. So, Frank, you can get official business.
I think that sums it up right there. All right, Chief, you were busted, but in a good way. Chief, thanks very much. Feel free to check back in with us if things change over there, and take care.
You too. Thank you.
Oh, Ben, what can I say? You just jumped right in there, and the poor Chief.
Yeah, how he told his daughters that it wasn't going to snow. I mean, it's hard to get it right.
See, it is exactly right. Now,
and
not
can you
to say
blame
that
him?
we were doubtful, Ben, but every once in a while, sometimes these things don't pan out the way they should.
Well, and especially in Bleckley County, can you blame him? I mean, the farther south you go, is just you get left out in a lot of these things. So, again, this is atypical. This is not obviously what we normally see, and this is one for the books right here that a lot of folks will remember for a long time. There was 73 with all that, but this is not what this is. But this is amazing to see this for a generation, to be able to find something like this, especially in our southern counties. Again, it's usually for Atlanta, North Georgia, and we're on the bottom edge of all that. That same corridor, and I want to show you here, still is showing the heavier colors here. So I'm going to draw it on here. And it's right where we were just talking to him, right in there. Okay, so that's still the main spot. But I also want to point out something else, all right? If you look back here, if you are in the Macon area and you're like, yeah, it's slow, a little bit flurries, but look at what's coming in from the west here, all right? So if you look at that here, a donation, a gift from Columbus that is about to come this way, and that is a heavier snow right there. So if that will hold, then that will be good for coating things a little bit more in our northern counties that are holding on, trying to get some of that. I want to show you some of these. Well, first of all, let me go to the other radar shot. Again, this is not cloud cover. This is all snow, but I wanted to show you that the snow is still being made. So anything that is still way back here is coming up. So it's not even close to shutting off. This will continue for, again, it depends on which model you're looking at. One model, the graph was showing it shutting off in the Macon area around 8 o'clock tonight. Other models have it still going midnight or beyond. We'll see how it goes. And as far as nailing down exact totals, we're going to say 1 inch to 2 inches as an average. with the steadier, heavier numbers toward the south, lighter toward the north has been the general rule, but all it takes is a wave to come in that's got a little bit more with it. Like again, I showed it to you in blue a moment ago. There it is showing up in brighter white that's heading toward the Macon area in just a little bit. So if that comes down, so Monroe, Bibb, Crawford, places like that, Peach, going to see a little steadier snow. Let's go back into the cameras. That's where it's all at right now. I mean, there's the fairgrounds in Perry starting to cover up a little bit more. It was in that main swath there for a little while, and then that kind of moved toward the south. But even with the light snow that continues to fall, it's putting a pretty good coating down there all around the fairgrounds, and it's starting to look really pretty out there. So this is the scene we're seeing in many spots. Of course, the roads are looking wet. We do have low 30s to upper 20s in these spots, but anything that is out there that's wet now on the road is probably going to slick up if it hasn't been treated, especially secondary roads, again, that are going to freeze over. Let's go to the Macon Skycam from here and take a look from the medical center. You can see the parking garage. The medical center is totally covered now. And we will move around a little bit from there. All the rooftops are white. Some of them, again, were already that color, but let's go scan around to where we can see some grass over there. And that's starting to kind of fill in a little bit as you get on down 2nd Street. Yeah, seeing a little bit of that trying to pick up as well. Again, not as heavy or steady as what they've been seeing in those southern counties in those bands, but still starting to pile up a little bit in the Macon area. And then, of course, the winter for now, the winter is the one here in Dublin. It just continues to get prettier and prettier out there. Cars still going, as we mentioned. You can see the snow on the cars as they go by. But I'm assuming some of these, and I was busy when you were talking to Mr. Laird earlier. I'm assuming they treated most of these.
He said they did. He said the Lawrence County, the crews were out and about in GDOT, he says.
Yeah.
The main roads.
The main roads, yeah. So it says secondary roads. So they're probably not going to get to those. All right. Who's going to do it? You want this one, Frank?
Oh.
Hit it, Frank.
Well, Ben, we can double team him. Dodge County EMA Director Jamie Wilkerson, you're with Frank Malloy and Ben Jones. Jamie, how are things going and looking at Eastman?
Uh-oh.
Jamie, are you with us?
I'm here.
Oh, hey, Jamie. I'm Frank Malloy. Good to hear from you. How are things looking in Eastman and Dodge County right now?
Well, a little white around here. Got a lot of snow accumulating.
Oh, what's your reaction to all this? We don't usually see this too much in Central Georgia, especially over your part of the area.
No, sir, we sure don't. We've prepared as best as we can for it, and all we can do is hope for the best here and letting kids enjoy some of the snow.
Now, are you seeing a lot of people out and about right now, or are most people kind of just staying home and enjoying it in their yards?
Well, I think you have a lot of people out prepping, getting groceries and supplies that they need. I'm out kind of cruising, checking a few road conditions right now. The roads are extremely wet right now, and as they start to freeze, I expect that we see some troubles with that. But yeah, for the most part, you still have you have quite a few people out and about.
Now, when you said you were out and about, I thought you were going to tell me you were going to the grocery store, but you're well stocked. You got everything you need, right?
Yes, sir, and I'm not going to tell you. I just left.
Oh, the secrets that are being told today. Yeah. So, Jamie, what's going to be the main focus for you and your staff tonight?
Well, we're going to be on standby. We have people on standby throughout the county. What we would like people to know, stay home if you can. Because our response times is going to be, we're down to a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it might be even slower than that. So our medical emergencies expect a little slower response times from us through all this. Like I said, right now, visibility for us is maybe at best at 75 yards in some cases, and then it can drop to 50 and 25 in some other areas I've been in the county. So just expect slower response times from us. If you can, stay home. The roads is going to go clean.
Now, were they able to treat some of the roads in the Dodge County Eastman area?
Yes, sir. I spoke with our DOT representative yesterday, and they had slurried some of the roads, most of the state roads, and I believe inside the city some of the roads were slurried as well.
All right, but folks need to be careful.
They still do. As them temperatures drops, I'm sure some of this water that's pooling is going to begin to freeze and create some ice and make some very slick conditions. So just people need to slow down, and like I said, if they can, just stay home.
All right, Dodge County EMA Director Jamie Wilkerson. Jamie, thanks very much. Appreciate you taking the time and appreciate you keeping the folks in Eastman safe. Take care.
Yes, sir. Y'all too. Thank y'all.
All righty. All right, so we have some videos, I think, from the Weather Network. Eastman, well, fittingly enough, after we just talked to Jamie with Dodge County. Janet Horn-Niblett sent in this from Eastman as it was starting to come down. As you heard Jamie Wilkerson say, it's coming down harder right there. Les Coley, this is a picture from his back porch in Jones County, the Griswoldville Road area right there. The snow starting to stick on the ground. Florine Meadows, oh my gosh, it's a cardinal. Gathering at the bird feeder in the snow. She lives in the Twin Bridges area. That's on the Putnam County side of Lake Sinclair. A beautiful cardinal heading south for spring training, undoubtedly. And you can stay with us by moving over to 13 WME. Nope. No, we're staying here. Okay, that's what I thought. I'm sorry. All right, so those are the videos. Keep sending those pictures to us. 478-752-1309. Man, you get a cardinal photo. Always good stuff.
Yeah, you can't lose with a cardinal photo right there. That is really
out
good.
And about today.
Congratulations to everyone. We are all at freezing or below now, so it just continues from here. McRae checking in with 32 at the bottom down there now, and Ainsley was showing me reports of some light snow starting to come down there. So all there is to do now is just keep accumulating. It's just as it comes down, it's just going to stick on top of what's already there, so the totals will continue to add on up. So we got, as they would say, a show-enough snow day. It actually worked out. This time around. So I'm keeping an eye, obviously, on this main batch down here we keep talking about there. And McRae, I promise, give it time. I mean, you're on that edge right there. But once this shifts
you're
over
on borrowed time with those folks in McRae.
Yeah, I know. Give it a few minutes. Once this gets on over there, you're going to be like, did we just drive to Buffalo? What just happened? Just kidding. If you're from Buffalo, I know this is nothing like what they see in Buffalo. But anyway, so I'm keeping an eye on this batch back here. Because again, let's say you're in Roberta, Macon area. If this will hold together and that line will bump up a little bit, then that would be a pretty good shot of snow for Macon here in a little bit. If we can get that darker shade to hold together with no gaps in it. Now we're seeing, notice how you'll see snow and then you'll see it feather out right through here. So hopefully this will hold as we go on through the next hour or so. That'll move in. But as we've been saying, there's little lulls in some of this and you'll have waves where it's steadier than others. Again, this is the big picture. We're not looking at it in blue this time. This is looking at it in white. This is not cloud cover. Again, you're used to seeing that and thinking those are clouds on a satellite. That is snow. Again, just to show you, if I were to put the satellite on there, you could see the clouds, and it would be very hard to pick out where the snow is and where it's not. So we just take the clouds away, and that way we can see all the snow. So it's not hard to pick out the bright white spot here. This is definitely the target zone for the majority of the snow. But notice how all this goes back. And even if you're seeing kind of a light snow now, if it keeps going like that for hours and hours, I mean, obviously that's going to start to kind of add up, is the reason why we say an inch to 2 inches as an average, higher totals south, lower totals toward the north, half inch to an inch, something like that. Maybe you'll get one of these little bursts that'll come in and give you a little bit more. So it's not going to be perfectly, north to south, lined up that way. It's going to depend on where these waves are. Ainsley, what you got? Ainsley's mic, please.
Folks in Crisp County are on top. I think they might be my #1 people right now in terms of reports, because I just got news from our newsroom. I got a photo. This is the old photo that I was actually going to show you earlier when I was talking about seeing an inch. So that's the inch mark there.
Is that a yard? Is that a ruler?
I've just got a new photo that is actually 2 inches of snow in Crisp County. So Crisp County is on top. I'm getting the most amount of information from them in terms of going out there with their ruler and sticking it out in the snow. This is kind of an example of what you can do there. So they've marked it. This looks like maybe a little bit homemade.
Ruler?
Yeah. This is from the Sheriff's Department in Crisp County.
They'll be selling those at the Cordial gift shop later.
A little homemade, but this is from the National Weather Service chat. So this is the Crisp County Sheriff's Department. The one that I got to our newsroom was from an actual tape measure.
A real ruler?
Yes, and it was up to 2 inches. So Crisp County, I'm not saying it's competition, but if it was, Crisp County would be on top. So not only that, but we also are getting reports now of snow all the way up in Athens, Georgia, and I can show you the sky cam of what's going on over there. I got some friends at the University of Georgia who are telling me that it's snowing all the way up there now. So let's take a look and see if we can see. Yeah, look at that. They do have some snow all the way up there. So I know it was looking like North Georgia may be kind of on the edge of this, and I've actually been really impressed with how much they've seen so far.
They always find a way.
They do. They sure do. So not only them, but I can also check on the sky cams over in Atlanta as well. Let's see if we can pull up the Mercedes-Benz sky cam for my Ohio State Buckeyes out there. This will be an exciting place to see. And there we go. Yep, lots of snow coming down on the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
For them to have been on the
well.
edge, that's an awful lot of snow on
It
the
really
ground out
is.
there.
I'd be interested for people out there to go out there with their rulers and let me know what's going on.
2 inches so far in Crisp County. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
And if you look at those same places in that band, I mean, you got to think if it's just showing there.
Well, I was thinking Dexter is that photo I just showed you earlier with the table that was already looking like they'd have a ton of snow, and it's still in that heaviest band. So you'd have to imagine if it's 2 inches in Crisp County, we're probably seeing some really measurable snowfall across that band.
I would imagine, yeah, anywhere that's behind me here in that bright white area. I mean, Hawkinsville, like you said, Eastman all in the game, but definitely Crisp County, you can see with that. I mean, that's been kind of the main spot. But just take that same color shaded area and continue with that. So have we gotten numbers from, did we get anything from Dublin yet? Might have. What you got there, Alex?
Oh, snowball.
Hand it to me over here.
Toss it over there.
Can't feel my hands.
We'll do the official handoff. This is Alex Pry.
Oh my
handing
goodness.
off the snowball.
Wow.
That's nice. That's an actually light, fluffy one. That one wouldn't hurt.
Look at you guys.
Yeah, no, it's usually the ones we usually get down here are like bricks, and they will bust you. If you get hit with that. That's pretty good, man. This is
Wow.
backyard garden.
Yeah, that was the second one. The first one is splattered against the fence.
You got the cross shot ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Let's see.
Oh, all right, Frank.
Here, I'm gonna top that.
Oh, good hands,
you.
Frank.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
nice.
Oh, camera 2. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, we're passing it around like it's the lion and lion. We don't have a
Straight
shot.
So, all right, so that's
the
what we've got
backyard.
out in the backyard garden, right? Do we have any measurable snow out in the backyard garden?
I think we got. Oh yeah, Alex, get out there with a ruler.
We need a ruler. Yeah, we're asking people to get
Come
measurements. We're
on.
not doing it.
I know we're not doing it
I
here.
think that we do have a
Here we go.
photo of our very own
And this is pretty well
David
packed,
and
too.
Alex from the backyard that I will work
this
on
is
pulling
good.
in.
Roy's got a tape measure in
Here.
engineering. Probably. gonna
David Guerrero, do you want to put this in the freezer so we can have this? Uh-oh.
Okay, cool.
Jasmine Lee is in Macon right now? Let's toss to Jasmine. She's out in the snow right now.
Yes, right now we're at Wesleyan soccer field right now. As you can see, the field is covered in snow. We do have some softball players with us, Michaela and McKinley. How are you guys feeling today with all the excitement, seeing the snow?
So excited.
Yeah, and what about you?
Well, I haven't seen snow in a while, so I'm pretty excited about it.
And to be out here together experiencing this, how does that feel?
It's awesome, especially with your college friends.
Yeah, and what about you?
It's really good. Me and one of them have been friends for a pretty long time, so it's fun to experience it with them.
Yeah, and speaking of other friends, we do have a few of the other teammates up there right now, about to slide down. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, how was that? Yep, they're all having fun. Everybody's sliding down, playing with the snow. We're not seeing too much right now to make a full snowman or snowball, but we are seeing the fields covered at the moment. Right now, we are out here with the teammates. We'll continue to update you guys. But right now, live in Macon, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Wow, that looks like fun. Awfully dirty to go in the hill. What? All right, so Alex is going out in the backyard garden. We have our camera out there. We could probably see them measuring out there. Again, we're not going to see the same kind of totals that we've been seeing in Crisp County, places like that. But there's the old garden. Boy, we need to redo that garden, don't we? There used to be a green screen right there. There's Alex. Why don't y'all straighten that place up while you're out there?
Could we spruce it up a little bit? Maybe a few plants?
Yeah, for a garden, we need something to... This is how it's officially done right here, folks. This is Alex and David. This is University of Georgia and Penn State working hard for you right here. All right, no, we're going to get a second opinion over here at the other railing. I can't wait to see how they're going to, and I guarantee you they're out there really kind of kicking it around what this could be, getting down to the millimeter. Well, they'll be walking here in a second, and we'll get an idea. Yeah, yeah, that's such a good look. Okay, well, let's see. That door will be opening in a minute, and they'll come back in with the official backyard garden measurement. I'm going to say 1/4 inch.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards 1/4 inch.
What you got?
1/4 of an inch. Yeah,
1/4 of
okay,
an inch.
that's good.
Yay! All right, that's what we said. 1/4 of an inch. Okay.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
We were watching you.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're on camera.
And we said UGA and Penn State putting their heads together there trying to figure it out. Good job. We ended up with a 1/4 inch there. And you even had you had a second opinion on one of those two.
You're always supposed to do that.
That's
Get a second measurement.
Okay, back to the radar. Let's see, the snow is still in the heaviest spot is down in these southern counties. So as Ansley was showing, Crisp County coming in strong with some big numbers. You can see that bright white is starting to try to move away from Dooley and Crisp, a little more into Pulaski, Wilcox, Dodge, and Lawrence County. So again, in that corridor right there, that's where our biggest totals are, and where they, for the foreseeable future, are going to be is this area right here. And of course, it's snowing everywhere else, but that's where your steadier stuff is coming in. Let's go up toward the north here. Let's change it over to this radar shot, and you can see in the blue, it's the same thing, it's just a different color table. I was trying to watch that blob coming into Taylor County, Butler. So if you're in, let's say, the Macon area, and I'm picking, the reason I'm saying Macon, I'll tell you why, is because that last system grazed our northern counties, and Macon kind of got dissed a little bit. And then now it's all south, and it's not exactly dissed, but it's kind of in the middle. And I'm sure a lot of folks want to see this blob of blue come in just a little bit, and that would pick up the snow in a hurry. If that comes in, then you'll start to see getting a little bit thicker out there and really starting to accumulate more. And so far, it's holding together, that blob is. Coming in to Upson and Taylor County, Crawford County, hold on, that'll be coming in. Roberta, you may get some of this, again, if it holds, and so far it is. You go north of this into North Bibb, Monroe, Jones, a little bit lighter, just light flurries. But again, if this will hold, then there's a good burst that'll come in to add more. And again, we're below freezing everywhere. So every little bit that comes down is just adding up and piling up. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to melt. And as we go through tonight, I mean, we're looking at a hard freeze tonight. We're talking about going down into the upper teens. So roadways, as we've mentioned, I mean, it is all fun to watch all this stuff and everything, and not to just keep beating this up. But I mean, obviously, if you don't need to be out, there's just no reason to, because black ice, a lot of times you can't see where it is. You don't know if that road's been treated or not. And the next thing you know, you kind of slide off, and then you can't get out of there, and then you got to wait for somebody to come try to get you. So there's just a problem. And that's the way it's going to be tomorrow morning. The coldest part of a day is always in the morning before the sun comes up. So that's where our low is going to be, somewhere in the teens. As we get into tomorrow, we're looking at somewhere mid-30s. So there will be some melt a little bit, but what happens is then that runs off onto the roads and everything, and then we're back super cold again tomorrow night, and we'll refreeze. All that to say that over the next couple of days, we'll lose a little bit each day, but there's a lot of it that's going to hang around, I think, for the rest of the week. I think you could get into Friday, still have, well, we were just up in North Georgia and North Carolina this past weekend, and going in there, and there was still snow on the ground from over a week ago, and they had been above freezing. So you're going to get these short days, and you're only in the 30s somewhere. You're not going to lose a whole lot of it. And definitely for tonight, this will continue to stick. Oh, McRae. Boy, oh boy. I've had so many. Remember the Alamo, too.
You are not going to be able to go to McRae, man.
It's going to get there. I'm trying to look over here in the Facebook comments. I've already gotten ripped a couple of times on that. Let's see.
Patience, practicing patience in McRae.
Yeah, it'll be there. Let's see. Okay. Here's someone saying wind just picked up and it's coming down good in North Macon. So let's see if that's anything with that blob. I don't think it was there yet, though.
It didn't look like it. Looked like it was still over in Taylor County.
Yeah, that blue blob is what you want coming into Macon. If that'll hold, then it'll dramatically change things. That's the kind of color they've been seeing in Cordele and Hawkinsville and Eastman, Dublin, places like that. So if that blue will hold, that'll be a really good shot. That'll be the biggest wave seen in the Macon area yet. Oh, fingers crossed it'll hold. And there are more waves like that. You go on back into Alabama, you'll see occasional waves. So again, it just depends on how this is going to line up. There is let me go to the other radar and see if I can find. At some point, we'll eventually see later on tonight a sort of a back edge of this. I don't know how well defined it's going to be, but it'll kind of say that's the end of it. But we don't, I mean, that's a long way off.
It is.
And this just keeps coming in. So we're talking still many, many hours to go of this coming up. Again, let's go revisit and see if we have any new model data, because there are a lot of questions about how long is this going to go. Well, here's the graph model, which has been right on. Shows that as we get on through 5 o'clock, there's 6. This is the only one that wants to kind of shut it down a little bit earlier from Macon north and westward. There's around 7 to 8 o'clock. So somewhere in there it would start to shut down north and west. That is the only model, though, that I'm seeing do that. Down in our southeastern counties continues to midnight.
Savannah?
To 1, 2, yeah. So let's go forward to, this is the NAM model. And it does not shut off that early. There's 7, there's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. There it's still going on into midnight to 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then 5, 6, and then gone. Let's go from there to the HER model, high-res model. Again, there's 8 o'clock. It's not shutting it off as we get into 10 o'clock, midnight. So every model goes past midnight with this, except for the graph. That's the only one that doesn't show that. As far as the numbers are concerned, again, I can show you this, although you probably surmised this already, that we are below freezing and are only going to go colder as we go through tonight. This shows around 20. I think we'll have somewhere in the upper teens in the morning. So plenty of cold air to hold all this exactly where it is. And then there's tomorrow. Now, the graph was calling out for, I think, 37 today, 36 or 37, and we only got to 34. So if we do that again tomorrow, yeah, there would be a little bit of melt in some spots, but not much. And then you got, I mean, everything that's on the ground reinforces itself. It is a frozen surface. So there's not going to be a whole lot of melt except for on some areas that maybe, you know, a thinner coating in some of those. Shows 20s for Thursday morning. I think we could have maybe still some upper teens to low 20s there, and then it just kind of runs out because I didn't put pauses there. So let's get to the Skycam. There's probably been some changes since then. I can't wait to see what happens with Macon if that, we're still in Atlanta. To see what happens if we get that blue blob to come into the Macon area. Let's see how it's looking as of now. Let's see, there's Macon. So yeah, it's starting to get a little bit more dusting down there. It's very light in the Macon area, but again, if that will move in, then it'll be a game changer for downtown. Don't you like those words? Game changer. All right, so here's the fairgrounds in Perry. Again, looking pretty good there. Let's pan around because it does look really cool with the little lakes out there.
I like that.
Are they lakes or ponds? They're small.
I think it's a pond.
Little ponds.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so as we go around, you can see where the rides normally are. The Midway would be out there. Yeah. So what was just a bench or two earlier that was had some snow on it is now on the grass. But again, the one you're going to have to do some serious lifting to keep up with our next contestant, and that would be Dublin. Yes. Again, I don't recall ever a situation where we were watching the Dublin Skycam the most for a winter event. So it's still pretty amazing to look at that on the ground, on the rooftops. Again, the cars are still moving okay because apparently there's been some treatment on some of these roads, but can't drive it home enough that, no pun intended, that it's these secondary roads, the roads that are not traveled as much, that may not have been treated with anything. Those are the ones that are going to get you in trouble. And really, any of these roads, I mean, they can treat it with this stuff. I'm no chemist. But I don't know if it's foolproof. I don't know if it totally keeps things passable, especially if you get down to 18 degrees. I got to imagine parts of this stuff going to seize up eventually where you just can't get through there. But I don't know. We'll see. Do we have any more pictures or anything? I do. Oh, Ansley, just in time.
I want to see New Orleans again. I'm fascinated by New Orleans today.
Oh, I can find it for you, probably.
We're loving to check in with New Orleans.
Yes.
You don't have to ask us twice to do that. All right, well, going to the Weather Network here, and I'm just loading in a photo, but this is from Shelly Neesmith.
Nice.
This is baby's first snow day over in Montrose. So super sweet. I'm seeing a lot of baby's first snow days, which is no surprise to me. I mean, it's snow in central Georgia. It's not something that happens very often. So super fun to think that this is a lot of kids' first time seeing snow. Over in Cochrane, Karen Mander sent this photo into the Weather Network. The donkeys getting a little snow on their backs. She says they're not enclosed here. She wants everybody to know that they have the choice to go inside. They're just enjoying the snow like everybody else is this afternoon.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
There's that. And I also did kind of make a little map here to show you the reports, although a little light right now. We're still waiting on some more photos.
That's a good looking map.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to David and Alex because we were able to put Bibb County on the map. So definitely seeing further towards the south, we're seeing a little bit more accumulation. But if you send a photo into the Weather Network, then you can be on the map. But you could put your county on the map. So
hey, seriously, yeah.
So those are the photos that I have right now. I'm pulling in one to give you a little teaser that is from Adrian, Georgia. Somebody's out on the lake fishing right now.
No way.
Oh,
Because when would you not be out on the lake fishing? Let me see if I can do that while I'm talking
Take that
to you
sky
guys
cam real
right
quick,
now.
Collinsworth. This is a live look at McRae.
No, we have McRae?
Yeah, take Max 1. There it is.
It's not McRae.
I'm kidding. That's still New Orleans. Go back to Ainsley.
Wow, it really did fan out there.
I'm just working on getting the name here. But
so they're actually in a boat fishing
they
in
are,
the snow?
Really?
Not to I've lost the name of this person. Oh, Tabitha Ring sent this photo in here. Just keeping you on the edge of your seat right now.
I know.
And I will just take this name off. Tabitha Ring is going to be the name there, but there is a look at somebody out on the lake taking advantage of the snow and just doing some fishing.
That's wild.
Why not? I hope that they're...
It looks like a little painting.
It's like a workout. Our producer Megan said like a workout. It is.
It is. Whoa.
No excuses, no days off.
No, really.
That is for sure.
Catch some frozen Gorton's fish sticks.
They're always on sale.
That's right.
So good reports coming in from the Weather Network. The only thing I'm lacking on is just people heading outside with their rulers.
We need
so
measurements.
if my pitch wasn't enough for you to put your own county on the map.
Yes.
I bet they're working on it right now. I mean,
well, unfortunately, the folks in McRae have nothing to put to
The folks in
measure at the
McRae
moment, but
they will
Ben
let me know
promises
soon.
that will change.
oh my McRations, it's coming down there. Just give it time. It's right out of reach for right now, but it's coming down that way.
I know they'll be when McRae starts seeing stuff. I know they'll be out there with their rulers.
Yep. Well, let's see. There's the sky cam in downtown. Looks like that's picking up a little bit down that way. Let's see if it lines up with the blob. Let's check in and find the blob. And let's see. Is it there? Oh, it's getting closer. Yeah. So it's these kind of. That's dark blue.
That is, Roberta.
That's a good burst right there. If we can get that to hold, it's already doing good things for Taylor County. Upson into Crawford, probably moving into West Bibb. Lake Tobosoffke probably getting a little bit of a ramp up of snow there. So that's what we want, is for that to hold together.
Yeah, filling in nicely there.
Let's see. Okay, I'm seeing a report that New Orleans, by the way, is now over 10 inches of snow.
It's easy to see. Yes, I can believe it.
That is crazy. Let's see other comments over here. Oh, the comments. Y'all are giving us a hard time here in McRae. We are seeing flurries here now.
Yes.
Then somebody says, Ben, we need to see you in McRae.
Yes, thank you.
I bet. Somebody says, picking on McRae. It's not of fun, because we know you're going to get a lot of snow here in a little bit.
You will.
We think you will.
Well, they're hopeful.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. Somebody says snowing now in Alamo.
Okay, Wheeler County.
Yep, that's light. But again, once that main band will move down there, that'll be good.
Yep.
Oh, somebody here, Ansley says 7 minutes ago, half-inch in northern Monroe. But we don't have proof. We don't have a ruler picture.
No.
Yeah. Do we have to have the picture?
We would like verification.
You know, I trust our viewers.
Yes.
Okay. Half-inch it is then. We'll go
I
with
think
that.
we need to start sending our team out, Dave and Alex, to get the verification.
You just go driving around.
I'd love a photo if you have
put
one.
them
If
in
you
the
made your
storm
way out
lab.
there with your ruler, you may as well just send the photo in.
Yeah, yeah, David's an old hat. I mean, he went to college. Pennsylvania. Well, all right. Well, you know, we've been talking about Perry. We have seen the sky cams from down there. And Ellie Milliken, we have sent her down there. She's used to snow. She's from Tennessee. Ellie, what are we seeing in Perry right now?
Frank, I mean, the snow is coming down. If you look on my jacket right here, I mean, the snow is just coming down. Right here on the grass, we've got snow coming down. Now, it's coming down a little bit on the roads. You can see it on cars, but it's not really sticking on the roads yet. But I mean, the snow just keeps falling. It's a beautiful, magical wonderland here. We're having a great time. We're right here at City Hall, and it's just been really cool to just see all this snow coming down, because I heard in Macon this doesn't normally happen a lot. So, but we see a police car coming by. They're just kind of checking to see if the roads are okay. Our car right beside us is starting to line up with snow, so it looks like our drive down here, we saw a little bit of ice on the road, so my advice would be to just be a little careful being on the road, just because you could slip if you're not too careful. And it looks like it's about a 1/2 inch of snow. But right now the roads, like I said, they're not looking too bad here in Perry. I know on our way it was a little slippery and icy. But I mean, the snow is just coming down, and like I see right here different roofs. But anyway, it's a really pretty day, and I'm hoping that at the end of today that I'm going to be able to do a snow angel on the ground.
We would like to see that, Art. Ellie Milliken is in Perry. As Ellie said on her drive down, a few icy patches. So if you don't want to be out, don't. If you are, slow down. No need to go with the speed limit. Let's take a look at some more of your photos that are coming in. I believe Miss Abigail, very excited for the snow. Got some snowballs out there. By the way, we refrigerated the one we have here.
Did we?
Yes, we did. I put it in the freezer.
Good.
Debbie Morris, a chance to play in the snow. This is in Dublin, where it continues to come down. AJ's first snow. Oh. That is priceless.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and
another cardinal.
Yes, it is.
They show up well in snow.
It's a beautiful bird. Rough season last year, but
Hawkinsville. That's 3/4.
3/4 of an inch. Really? 3/4?
On the map.
Almost up to an inch.
I'm going to say close to 3/4, 5/8.
Yeah, a little bit over that. So folks in Hawkinsville, that's what we've been asking for. Yes, the old ruler down there. Oh yeah, Ben, what do you, that kind of helps Ansley build the map up right now.
It does.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, because we can see it.
Yes, that's perfect. That is what we're asking.
Where was that?
Hawkinsville.
That's great. You're adding that to?
It's going on the map. I also got some traffic alerts that I'm adding right now, so as soon as I have those, I will let you know.
Okay, good news on the blob. I just clicked away from it. Where is it?
Oh.
Hold on. Pulling it back up here. Okay. So if you're in Crawford County and Bibb County, hold on, because that could be something really good here in a second. All that dark, if that will hold together, you will see a big uptick in snow coming up in the next 30 to 40 minutes if it'll hold. It's probably already coming in southwest Bibb County right now, but that's the part you want. So if you want enough to be able to build a little snow fella, that needs to come on in, and so far it's doing a pretty good job. It's anywhere from Culloden to Roberta right now, down toward Reynolds, but it is as a beeline heading in right toward the Macon area. So yeah, that could be really good right there if we can get that to come on in. Of course, there's probably somebody going, why do you want that? Well, because it's fun, that's why. Ansley, what you got?
We got to look at some traffic alerts here from
Okay.
GDOT. So I'm going to step out of the way as soon as this graphic comes up as well. The left lane on I-75 South before exit 112 is blocked due to icy roadway conditions. All lanes are blocked on State Route 74 at Lawrenceville Mill Road because of the icy roads again, and all lanes are blocked on State Route 24 South past Admiralty Way due to icy road conditions. So a lot of reports coming in for icy roads. I'm also seeing from our newsroom as well that the Baldwin County Emergency Management Agency put out a statement saying to use caution because the roads are beginning to freeze. So a lot of those roads that they're talking about in this statement are those back roads or just roads that are not as densely populated. So definitely now that we're getting a little more accumulation out on the roads, important to pay attention and really do your best to just be off of them entirely, because this is probably not the last time that we're going to keep seeing these reports roll in of icy road conditions, and that obviously causes a lot of issues, not only for you to be out on the roads, but also for the emergency management teams to respond to accidents like that. So that's the latest in terms of what's going on the roads, and I'd anticipate, Ben, with lots more blue coming over on the map, we're probably going to see a lot more ice on a lot of those areas as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's the fun part of this, is what we're talking, the blob. You know, if we can get that to come on in. But then there's all that stuff, and that's no fun right there. So, yeah, it's just, it's kind of the whole stay put where you are. By the way, everybody already called dibs on air mattresses here, or is it?
No, we're gonna try and get out.
Oh, we're gonna try to get out, Frank?
Oh.
Frank's got he's got a big four-wheel drive dually. He's gonna
have anything
get us
like
out.
that.
He has a nice golf cart with big tires.
I don't know if we can get down the Gray Highway.
I don't know. We'll see. But for those that are wanting, and I've had some questions saying, you know, what about the blob? Because most of it has been in our southeastern counties and lightly everywhere else. But again, this is it right there. Not saying, and that's not all of it. This is just in this wave. That'd be a really good one to come on in. for a lot of people. Obviously, you know, a lot of these counties are seeing some good stuff here. There's just so many people here in the Macon area that are like, it's pretty good, but I'd like to see it go a little bit more, and that's what we want right there if we can get that in. And just to show you again that there is so much more behind all of this, down through Columbus, Montgomery, all the way down Mobile Bay. It is still, if you're just joining us, they are heading toward a foot of snow in New Orleans right now. And it has been like tropical storm force winds down there as well. It's like a blizzard came. It's been amazing. As we look at, again, this is in white this time. That's not the satellite view of the clouds. This is all snow here on this. It doesn't show up as blue in this one. But you can see the blob there as well. Notice how it shows up as white on this. So it's this right here heading into the Macon area. That's one good burst. We could get that one through for those wanting to build a snowman. That would help. As we zoom out, again, look all back down here. The way to look at this is kind of how we do with thunderstorms, the same way. You have kind of a corridor of this. It was smart for me to choose a white line to draw over the white stuff here. But so that everything is moving inside there like this, but it's the whole system itself that is slowly inching eastward. So you kind of look back toward the south and west of wherever you are and kind of look and say, okay, well, that's the factory making the snow for me that's going to be coming up this way later. And then again, the whole thing eventually is going to kind of slide on over this way as we go through tonight. But that's been going kind of slow. Phone a friend in McRae and they will tell you that. Let's go back to the blob. Are we back? Okay. Folks, we're about to do what we call a reset. I just looked up, it is 5 o'clock, so it's time for a newscast. Let's get all official, folks.
Hello, thanks so much for joining us. Great to be here with you fellas. You're doing a great job, as you probably already know. Nothing new. It is snowing across central Georgia.
We are sorely in need of guidance out here, Mr. Lori. Thank you, and we now have it. Ben and the rest of the meteorological team have been tracking the snow all day. It is here, and it looks like it's going to stay for a while, Ben.
It is, yeah. So if you're just joining us in, what we call appointment viewing, right at the top here at 5 o'clock, this is a good snow event for us. It's hard to get these things to line up just right. As you know, from just over a week ago, trying to put the pieces together, didn't quite pan out. It was mainly North Georgia. Well, check this out. All the pieces in the cards are coming together for us. If you weren't joining our coverage earlier, we've been looking for a blue blob to come into the Macon area. I'm going to cover some of the other areas in just a second. Most of the snow, the heavier totals, have been in our southeastern counties. But for those that are up top, anywhere from Macon, Warner Robins northward, hoping to get a good burst here in a second. This is some pretty steady snow right here. And if we can get that to keep coming on across, and so far it's holding together, already moving into West Bibb, Crawford County enjoying it, Roberta to Culloden, already getting some bigger totals there. As we zoom, so we'll see how that goes. As we move away, this has been the big show. And notice how fickle this stuff is. It'll go dark and shaded areas, and then it'll start just thin out. So this has been going, oh no, McRae. So this has been going like this for a while. I'm actually getting kind of concerned about McRae now, so we'll see. Hopefully that'll move in later tonight. It was right there. But anyway, so this has gone from dark blue to a lighter blue, and then this is light blue, now going to dark blue. So in other words, this is going to fluctuate as we go through tonight. You'll see batches that are steadier than others. Another way to look at this is if we go to the big picture, and again, that is not cloud cover. That's not a satellite look at clouds. That is snow. It's just showing up with a different color table. This is white instead of blue, but it's the same kind of thing here. And you can see going all the way back down, this is where it's all coming from, and the tap is not even close to shutting off. This still has hours to go. The question is how many hours? And as we look at some of the models, I'm just going to show you here, this is going to be the graph model. It's the one that tries to shut things off a little bit earlier. It goes here to around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock or so, and then tries to say northwest counties are done, still going for the southeastern counties as we go toward midnight, and then early morning everything starts to leave. Now that's the only model that clears it out that early. If we look at the NAM model as we go forward, you'll see 6, 7 o'clock still going, 8, 9 o'clock still going. So it does not shut it off. And then we get farther into past midnight, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning still going and then clearing out. So that one goes longer. The HER model, high-res model shows still going 8, 9, 10, midnight, and then starting to taper off 2 a.m., 3, 4, 5, leaving our area there. So you can see the different scenarios. Most of them kind of want to hold it on to at least midnight or so, but we'll see if the graph is going to be the right one and shuts it off earlier. There's a look over downtown Macon, and I want to show you just two other things right now. This is a look at the fairgrounds in Perry, and then of course the one that has really been showing off today is the one in Dublin, where we've seen some pretty scenes down that way. To stay informed during our weather impact alert, download the 13 WMAZ mobile app. You can get it in the Google Play or Apple Store. Once you get it up, get the app, sign in, sign up, go ahead and turn on notifications. So if you need to get any kind of alerts, you can get that. But a busy day out there, guys, isn't it?
Yes, it is an exciting day. Plenty of folks are seeing some snow.
That's right. Celine Arif, we just saw the pictures from Dublin, a really pretty scene. She joins us live from Dublin to show us what it looks like now.
Hi there. Yes, hello from Dublin, Georgia. Did you ever think you would see Dublin, Georgia looking like this? Because I did not. Y'all, it is coming down. We just did a walk across downtown right now. We are kind of in the Gaines Street area, and most of the businesses are closed down because a lot of people probably should not be driving out in this weather. And right now we are outside ourselves, but we're here to tell you, if you need a warm place to go tonight, if you know somebody who is homeless who is watching this right now maybe that you're thinking of, please know there are options available in Dublin. Earlier today we were here at these at this church. This is the Jefferson Street Baptist Church, and starting at 6 p.m. they've been opening this week as a shelter. Their mission center has been opening as a shelter. They are feeding folks. They have a capacity of 10 beds in there for folks to sleep safely and comfortably in tonight, and they're going to do that as long as they need to, probably through Thursday night, they said, with the cold weather still keeping things going here. And yeah, I can tell you, there's not too many cars out here. We did see a really nice Dublin police officer earlier who told us to stay safe. We are staying safe. We hope you guys are staying safe too. Just please drive slow if you're out here with us today on the road. So for now, reporting live in Dublin, Celine Arif, 13 WMAZ News.
Thank you so much, Celine. Earlier this afternoon, Governor Kemp gave an update on how the state prepared for the winter weather. Nearly 250 National Guardsmen have been deployed across the state, as well as additional power crews. Officials are warning people to stay off the roads unless it's absolutely necessary and to stay indoors.
You can't get to people to get them moved so you can keep brining, so you can keep plowing, so you can keep putting salt out. So the less people we got on the roads, if we do have something like that happen, it allows us to get to those people, clear that roadway, which is imperative if we're trying to get fire trucks or ambulances and our first responders to people that need them.
Lots of Central Georgians were preparing ahead of the winter weather. We ran into a few shoppers at the food depot who were grabbing a few groceries like bread, peanut butter, chips, and crackers. Some even got some hot cocoa to keep them warm. And ahead of the storm, lots of power trucks moved into Central Georgia. Power crews are ready to respond to any outages the winter weather brings.
Yeah. I think Jasmine Lee is, I think she's at Wesleyan College,
Yes.
At least she was last time.
Yep, we're here at Wesleyan soccer field right now. As you can see, the field is full with snow. You're not able to make a snowball just yet, but the field is full. We do have some softball players with us here. We have
Alexis.
And we have
Sydney.
Yeah, so being out here together, how are you guys feeling about the snow?
It's actually so fun to be able to be out here and experience all of this with like your teammates.
Yeah, and what about you?
I'm really happy about it. I haven't seen snow in quite a while, so we're glad to be spending this time together.
Yeah, and spending this time together, how long has it been since you've seen snow?
It's been quite a while. I don't think I've actually seen snow since I was in like elementary school, and it just brings back all the memories.
Last time I saw real snow was probably, I was a freshman in high school. It was like 2017. I think that was like 8 inches. I think everybody kind of got a blowout then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we do have a few more players with them. They're about to slide down right now on the snow. Let's see it, guys. Yes. Yeah, is it icy down there?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, so everyone is out here having fun, playing with the snow, having fun with the teammates. We'll keep you guys updated, but for now, live in Macon, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Oh, good times. As the winter weather moves in, it's in our area right now. You're not really supposed to be out on the roads. If you have to make a trip, make sure your tires, make sure you don't have bald tires. It's really going to make it slick right there. Make sure your battery's good to go. Out on the roads, avoid bridges. That's where the ice always forms. And make sure you slow down and you keep a safe distance from the car in front of you.
During freezing temperatures, make sure you let your faucet strip to prevent your pipes from freezing or bursting. You can also open your cabinet doors to allow warmer air to circulate. Plus, keep the temperature inside your home no less than 55 degrees. That's pretty chilly right there.
Yes.
And don't forget the outside. Make sure you remove, drain, and store hoses used outdoors. Consider using pipe sleeves, heat tape, or a heat cable to insulate your pipes. And if you're worried about your pets, I hope you are, use pet sweaters or boots. If you're taking them for a walk, as far as your outdoor plants, you can wrap them in blankets or sheets to keep them warm during these freezing temperatures.
All right, now we've been talking about the roads and how you really shouldn't be out if at all possible. The left lane on I-75 South before exit 112, that is in Dooley County, currently closed due to ice on the road. As Ben's been saying, folks in our southern viewing area have been getting more snow, and that would include Dooley County. So I-75 South before exit 112, the left lane closed due to ice. The Georgia Department of Transportation urging you to use caution, slow down, and do not be out unless you have to.
Baldwin County EMA says there are some icy roads, North Columbus Street, Sparta Highway, and Watson Reynolds and the bridge on Horaceville Road are all ice. They ask you to please be careful if you're driving in those areas.
All lanes on State Route 24 south past Admiralty Way are currently blocked due to ice on the roads. As you can see, the temperatures pretty much everywhere is below freezing, so ice is starting to form.
That's right. The Macon Transit Authority will begin their bus services tomorrow at 10 a.m. due to the freezing temperatures overnight. Bus services ended today at noon.
If you want to keep watching snowfall around central Georgia, head over to 13WMAZ.com. All our weather sky cams in one place. Macon, Perry, Dublin, even Atlanta. Pick a sky cam and watch those snow flurries fall. The Dublin Skycam has been the one that's been seeing the most snow. We have video. This is Florine Meadows, the old cardinal. That is a hardy bird out there, gathering at the bird feeder. Florine lives in the Twin Bridges area, Putnam County side of Lake Sinclair. All right, we're going to check in Monroe County EMA. I believe we have Christine Bramlett.
Yes. So, Christine, thanks so much for calling in. Tell us what you're seeing in your area.
Well, unfortunately, we are seeing more than 10 incidences on our CAD right now of multiple vehicle incidents across our roadways in Monroe County. We are really wanting to encourage people to stay off the roadways completely, and if they need to be on the roadways, to use extreme caution and to slow down. We have had several incidents where our apparatus have been on scene, and there are accidents happening in real time right behind them. So these roadways are extremely slippery and are only going to deteriorate even more as the hours go on.
Are there certain, I know you said it's pretty widespread, so we're talking side roads, the main roads, interstate. What kind of area are we talking about?
Throughout the county. The very hilly portions of High Falls on the north side of our county, people are trying to mitigate these hills and different inclines and not finding any traction, which is causing incidences. The vast majority are on the interstate, but as Highway 41 and 42 South are also seeing incidents where people are sliding off into the ditches and sometimes into trees.
That is not good. That's not good at all. So just to underscore what you're saying, stay off the roads. You need to keep them clear so the trucks can get through, to put down the ice, the de-icing formula, the brine, and you really don't want to have any serious injuries and piling more people into those areas. Is that correct, Captain?
Correct. We really encourage people just to stay home with their families and enjoy the snow from at home.
Yes, in the backyard. Okay. Captain Bramlett, thanks so much for calling. We'll let you get back to work.
All right. Stay safe.
All right, thanks very much. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Ben Jones. You know, you've been talking about how as the temperature's below freezing, Ben, as we go along throughout the evening, and there's going to be some icy patches out there.
Well, yeah, and that's only going to get worse, yeah, because we're looking at a hard freeze tonight going into the upper teens, so that's going to be an issue. On the good side of things, if you're going to stay home and you have nowhere to go and you want something to be able to, let the kids go play in, the blue blob, we're checking on it right here. We've been seeing a lot of our southeastern counties get a lot of snow, mainly just light stuff in some of the other areas, but again, that is, this one I've been watching, this batch burst, or if you want to call it that, from southern Monroe into Crawford into West Bibb. Here comes a new scan coming in right now. Let's see what it looks like. It's hung up in there. But anyway, it's coming into the Macon area now. So in other words, Macon's about to get a much steadier snow. It's about to start picking up. There it is. You can see it moving in now. The blue blob is now in the Macon area. It's kind of sporadic. Looks like more southern Houston, North Macon, Northwest Macon. But everybody's getting it now. So even down to northern Houston, I'm seeing some pretty good colors. There's a lot of dark blue starting to show up in places that were only light blue earlier. So this is a steadier snow moving in. And at the same time, watch what's happening down here at the bottom where the big band was. That's kind of vaporizing for a minute. And now this is becoming the big show. So kind of interesting to watch how snow works. It's not something we see every day, but just to see how this was going gangbusters and now just sort of drying up. Not to say that it's gone. There will be more snow to go through tonight, but for the time being, the focus is shifting more up here now too. So let's see if we go to the Skycam. Which one? I'm doubling up right there. Let's talk about the Macon one here. What kind of scene? We're going to start to see, if not yet, in just a little bit, that should start to pick up a pretty good bit. As the main burst of snow that we've been waiting to see if it's going to make it here is starting to move on in. And you can see white rooftops all over the place. The top of parking garages are white now. The roads, again, they look clear, but that's the problem. Black ice, you can't see it. I mean, there may be some roads that were treated, some that are not. And next thing you know, you get in a slick spot and you can't get out of there. And then you got to wait for somebody to go put themselves at risk to come get you. So it's just not worth it. So that snow, again, has been doing about like this in the Macon area for a while. But again, with that blob starting to move in, I think we're going to see that pick up. I can even see on the copper dome on the city auditorium back there starting to get covered up a little bit more. You don't see as much of the green anymore. So if you're in the Macon area, I think you're going to see this start to pick up a pretty good bit. So maybe that'll add to some of your totals. We're going to take a break here for a second and come on back in a couple of minutes. Hang with us.